and 71% of independents are unhappy with the president's handling of inflation. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Vice President Harris announced Monday a federal strategy to build 500,000 charging stations for electric vehicles across the country. The trillion-dollar infrastructure law that President Biden signed last month authorizes the charging stations and sets aside $5 billion for states to build them. The law also provides an additional $2.5 billion for local grants to support charging stations in rural areas and in disadvantaged communities. News and analysis at townhall.com.
I asked what kind of family she wanted. She said, a family like yours.
Learn more about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Lawyer, author, host of Life, Liberty, and Levin on Fox News, Mark Levin is here every weekday evening from 6 till 9 p.m. on AM 600 WBOB and FM 101.1. News on WBOB, AM 600 and 101.1 FM.
Good morning, I'm Patrick Johnson. A man's been arrested after ramming into a parked JSO car with his Jeep. This happened Saturday evening. Driver of the Jeep was acting erratic, spinning his tires, trying to drive over the parked police car. Cops quickly pinned the Jeep in place with two other patrol cars. After a 25-minute standoff, the man got out of his vehicle and was taken into custody. We're working to get more information on this incident. A 29-year-old Jacksonville man is dead after his truck struck a parked pickup head-on Saturday afternoon. This happened in Alachua County. Troopers say that the vehicle crossed the center line, went off the road, and hit a truck. The driver pronounced dead at the scene. The group in the truck suffering minor injuries. Just in time for holiday travel, which will begin next week. You could be seeing some lower prices at the pump, according to AAA. The national average of $3.32 a gallon for regular gasoline, $3.26 for Florida's current average, and $3.24 in Jacksonville. It's Jacksonville.radio news.
Good morning. Generally overcast today, and with a slight chance of rain, we'll have a high of about 68. Partly cloudy tonight with the low around 60, and currently it is 55 degrees. Here are some of the top stories we're bringing you this morning. A new ABC News poll finds that 61% don't approve of the Biden administration's handling of crime. Some liberals, including politicians and celebrities, are using the tragedy in Kentucky to point fingers at Republicans for not doing enough to battle climate change. And progressive Democrats have announced they will bring up legislation to allow employees to work only 4 days a week.
Contact the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 WBOB by calling 831-0600, 831-0600, or email ed@wbob.com, AM 600 and 101.1 FM. WBOB.
I tell you, it's the holiday season, but man, there is still a lot of news going on, and it's good to have everybody with us. We'll bring you all the latest national, state, and local. We're the only morning talk show that does it, that but it does make your morning drive go by a lot quicker. Good morning. It's coming up on 5 minutes after 6 a.m. It's Ed Dean along with Roger Henderson right here on Talk Radio WBOB. The latest in Kentucky, over 80-plus deaths, unfortunately, have occurred due from the tornadoes that happened over the weekend. Here's the latest with this. Fox News' Mike Tobin.
And you've got power crews in here from all over the region as you still have some 26,500 people without power, and another cold night is setting in. On Wednesday, the people here will get a visit from President Biden as he will try to offer some encouragement to the people who had the misfortune of being in the path of this once-in-a-lifetime tornado.
But several liberals, including elected officials and Hollywood actors, are taking advantage of the tragedy and what's happened in Kentucky, finger-pointing at conservatives for not doing enough to deal with climate change.
Others are blaming the tragedy on climate change. Actor Mark Ruffalo tweeting, "This is what hashtag climate catastrophe looks like. It's only going to get worse from here." While FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell fired off this stark warning.
This is going to be our new normal, and the effects that we're seeing from climate change are the crisis of our generation.
That's Fox News' Aisha Hassin. Challenges over the holidays the White House is trying to cope with. That's the Build Back Better spending plan, inflation, and the increasing crime rates in many cities.
President Biden facing a myriad of serious challenges, and they are cutting into his already already low approval numbers. At the top of the list this holiday season is crime, amid a rash of high-profile, high-end robberies, scaring some shoppers away from the most crucial economic period of the year for retailers. The president also facing an uphill political battle over his massive tax and spend agenda, that social spending bill.
Special report anchor Brett Baer, a new ABC news poll out this week shows that 61% of voters do not believe that the White House is approving or properly approaching the issue of dealing with crime.
President Biden's approval on crime plummeting. Those smash and grab robberies hit major cities across the country, and voters really don't like it. A new ABC News Ipsos poll shows just 36% approve of the president's handling of crime, 61% disapprove.
Stuart Varney from the Fox Business Network. Progressives in the U.S. House are now going to bring up legislation that will promote a 32-hour work week, and anything over that, you get paid overtime.
Advocates say fewer workdays are better for work-life balance and increase workers' performance. And now the change is gaining support among some members of Congress. The Congressional Progressive Caucus, a group of nearly 100 lawmakers, formally endorsed the 32-Hour Workweek Act. The bill wouldn't eliminate 40-hour work weeks. It would require employers to offer overtime pay after 32 hours.
That's the latest from CNBC. With inflation going up the highest it's been in nearly 40 years, car prices also went up to its highest level. Host of Money King.
Well, prices for new cars hit an all-time high in November, $46,320. That is the 8th straight month of record highs for new cars. Now, according to Kelley Blue Book, that's 13% higher than November of 2020. Sales are down due to short supply, and that's also limiting the incentives and driving the average price higher.
And should he stay or should he go? Some fans out there that are hardcore Jacksonville Jag fans believe that it's time to get rid of Urban Meyer. News 4 Jax reporter Scott Johnson.
A quick scan of national headlines shows the drama filling the Jaguars organization right now. Tension boiling over between Coach Urban Meyer, Jaguars players, staff. Here is what's protecting Urban Meyer right now. The Jaguars owe him a ton of money. And this headline saying Meyer threatens to fire source of leaks after reports of in-house drama. Now even the diehard fans like John Fichter, a man who has literally recreated his apartment into a shrine of all things teal and black, thinks Meyer has to go.
Wow, I saw that news clip last night with this guy. It literally looks like a museum. He's got nothing but Jags. I mean, literally, it's a haunted house.
Haunted, probably the accurate word there.
Dude, you will die alone, unfortunately. So anyways.
Be nice.
Boy,
there's fans and then there's fanaticism. So whatever you want to do.
And by the way,
free country.
The car price is going up. Remember just a few months ago, folks, we're not, what are we talking about? July, maybe August? It was like at 43,000. Does that mean the jump for electric vehicles goes up too?
I don't know. I think the reason they're going up is because they can't get these microchips, and that would apply to electric vehicles as well. So everything's going to go up.
Coming up next, Democrats in Congress want to force folks, this is a big move going on. They want to force businesses, to make a full-time work week, force businesses. 32 hours and anything over that, Roger, is overtime.
Time and a half.
But is that the right way to go? We'll talk about this and other issues coming up next. It's Ed Dean, Roger Henderson, Talk Radio, WBOB.
Where are the tie-ups to avoid WBOB traffic?
Starting off the morning with pretty smooth roads, but we do have our usual slow traffic around NAS Jax. You're going to add an extra 4 minutes, and if you see anything, give us a call. 901-SAFE.
Cloudy today with a slight chance of rain. The high near 70. This evening, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 60. Currently, it's 55 degrees.
Here's Dan Celia with today's Stewardship Moment.
We must first and always be in recognition of the great truths of God's ownership of all things. He alone is the absolute proprietor of all things. Scripture consistently taught this great truth of ownership. Back in Genesis 14:22, it says this, Abraham said to the king of Sodom, I have raised my hand to the Lord God Most High, creator of heaven and earth. The King James Version says, possessor of heaven and earth. Are you in recognition of the great truth of God as owner of all things?
You've just heard a stewardship moment with Dan Celia of Financial Issues Ministry, helping you plan, give, and invest wisely. For more information, log on to financialissues.org. That's financialissues.org.
Canines for Warriors is ending veteran suicide and returning our warriors to a life of dignity and independence.
Maybe you've been in the military for 20 some odd years and you never fired your weapon, but you've seen things and you've heard things and you've witnessed terrible things that have happened to not only your friends, but
Rory doesn't owe us anything.
For medical treatment, they told me straight up, hey, you got problems.
Canines for Warriors pair specially trained service dogs with vets in need.
And we're asking pointed questions because we're trying to pair them with a good match for them, a good dog. And so we kind of have guided conversations, what the warrior requires and how we can best suit that with our dogs.
Your generosity will go right to work to help pair a struggling warrior with a shelter dog trained to help veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder, traumatic brain injury, and or military sexual... Rory doesn't have to bring us coffee, so don't tell him I said that. To caninesforwarriors.org.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sanders.
And I'm Dr. Isla Rose from 100% Chiropractic. At 100% Chiropractic, we use non-invasive, drug-free
No, Amy needs to bring us coffee. I'm being funny.
and pain from sports or auto accident injuries.
When a patient is suffering with pain, it is hard.
Okay. Yeah, I've already got Steve. I told him either Monday or Tuesday can he fill in for me. He said, oh, look. So a lot of the programs are recording early because of Christmas. %chiropractic.com. Right. About their $49 special, which includes your... But due to the overwhelming response, it's difficult for the brother who says check 1, 2 to take off.
Are you a natural caregiver? Do you want to make a difference in the lives of adults with disabilities? Our direct support professionals work to empower adults with differences to live a more independent life. These vital staff members create a welcoming and productive environment of learning and working for our day program participants, empowering each person.
LERP.
No experience.
I like to have art is, the downtown centerpiece of the skyline, but that LERP sign is stupid. You can make a difference. Apply today at pinecastle.org.
Financial Issues with Dan Celia at 9 this morning. Now, back to the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 and 101.1 FM, WBOB.
Here are some of the top stories we're bringing you this morning. Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody says her office has recovered more than $11 million lost by consumers in COVID-related fraud scams. New car prices hit a record high in the month of November. And some local media reports claims there are calls to fire Urban Meyer after a losing Jaguars football season.
Contact the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 WBOB by calling 831-0600, 831-0600, or email ed@wbob.com. AM 600 and 101.1 FM, WBOB.
Coming up on the three fastest hours anywhere in Morning Talk Radio, Ed Dean, Roger Henderson will prove it. Just sit back, enjoy the morning ride. You don't have to agree with us, and if you don't, there's nothing wrong with us, right, Raj? We put out the facts, and the facts that we lay out are pretty much indisputable. Now, that's facts and there's opinion. Sometimes some people think it's one of the same, at least on the left. But anyway, we'll let you know. But sit back, enjoy the morning ride as we go all the way with you to 9 a.m. Talk Radio. WBOB. All right, so let's continue on with the news. So the Kentucky tragedy, the unfortunate amount of deaths, and the president jumps into the climate change debate. But let me set this up. Fox News, Aisha Hassin says that the Hollywood actors and some of the elected officials are taking advantage of what happened in Kentucky to promote climate change by saying that conservatives are to be blamed for not doing enough to battle it.
Others are blaming the tragedy on climate change. Actor Mark Ruffalo tweeting, "This is what hashtag climate catastrophe looks like. It's only going to get worse from here." While FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell fired off this stark warning.
This is going to be our new normal, and the effects that we're seeing from climate change are the crisis of our generation.
Now, again, Mark Ruffalo, who plays the Incredible Hulk in the Avengers, came out. He's a big leftist. But anyway, so now they try to come out and use this to promote climate change. Wow. There's the Rahm Emanuel thing. Never let a good tragedy go to waste, right, Raj? It gets better. Here was President Biden, who jumped into it and then had to backtrack by saying, well, we don't really know if this tornado had anything to do with unusual climate change type of weather that's been taking place.
The intensity of the weather across the board has some impact as a consequence of the warming of the planet and the climate change. The specific impact on these specific storms, I can't say at this point. We can't say with absolute certainty that it was because of climate change.
But was the weather hot or cold that week? Because it's cold going on right now in Kentucky. Here was Douglas Murray, who has written for the Wall Street Journal, National Review, authored the book, The Madness of Crowds, talks about the woke left and everything else out there. He says the data has showed that the increased activity of tornadoes, some would say due to climate change, just isn't out there. What you see is a normal activity taking place. Clip number 3.
There is abundant evidence that there has been no change in the frequency of tornadoes in the United States of America in recent decades. That's not my view. That's a view of, for instance, The Economist magazine that wrote this only recently. The Economist is not a far-right publication. It's a center-left publication. It was clear about that because the data shows that there is no significant increase, no change in the number of tornadoes that have affected the United States in recent decades. Natural disasters now are used by Democrats and people on the climate left in particular as just another opportunity to push a particular political ideology.
We haven't even had funerals. We haven't even recovered all the bodies. And instead, we're making politics about this. Again, is it a slow week for fundraising, people? Because this is normally what takes place when you try to make an advantage that somehow you want to use to go your route. So now let's take advantage of this whole climate change. Listen, how did it go from global warming? 70s went from global cooling to global warming. And remember, we were already supposed to run out of oil. We were already supposed to go into the era of Kevin Costner in Waterworld, which was an okay movie, by the way. I would have directed it much better.
Anything with Kevin Costner.
Yeah, JFK. I love Kevin Costner. 13 Days. Anyway, but having said Yellowstone, by the way, but having said all of this, Roger, we're going to use the role of global warming, climate change to push an agenda. Listen, you want to have this conversation? Let us just wait to see what takes place after several days, and then once all of this nonsense, unfortunate by the left, let's get done. Let's deal with the tragedy. Then you can have all these other issues out there.
Yeah, it seems like the root, really, of the issue, of the controversy, more than anything else, is that we have people who honestly believe that the earth is, on fire and burning up. And then you have people who honestly believe that climate change is nothing but a hoax. And as long as we've got that polarization with respect to the arguments, then that's going to continue to be an argument. But I agree they should have waited a little bit. And at the same time, let the scientists talk about it. I mean, you are an actor. You've got no credentials. You're not.
He plays one, Roger.
You're not a climatologist.
He plays Bruce Banner, which is a scientist.
You lose all credibility, I think. And here, I'm not a climatologist either, but I at least see the consistency with respect to them claiming, okay, well, the oceans are heating up. Tornadoes have nothing to do with hurricanes. Yeah. This totally different, weather phenomena going on there.
And by the way, just so let everybody know, if you look back at the weather patterns, I was like, let me take a look at this. For the last 30 to 40 years, most of this, unfortunately, happens a lot of time in the springtime. It is very unfortunate, but it's not uncommon to get. So we had a tornado that happened in Florida last week with one of the storms that came through. Wasn't even predicted. It happened up around the Lake City area, I thought. But what I'm getting at, it's not uncommon to have tornadoes to come by with some of these cold fronts that happen to come through the state of Florida.
It's not even cold fronts. What I hear more than any other thing, and I've heard this for years, is that tornadoes hitting areas that are developed is because there is now less open space. Tornadoes apparently like to go in areas where there's no development and there's fewer areas when they go now.
Here's an issue Roger loves: a shorter work week. It'll never happen with Raj. Raj is the hardest working guy in the business. Democrats in Congress are now wanting to push legislation. Instead of a 40-hour work week, they will mandate you, the business owner, to create a 32-hour work week. Oh, but wait, are you getting paid for 40? Well, in a weird way you are. You're getting paid for 32, but guess what? Anything after 32 is considered time and a half. Here's the latest. Listen to this story from CNBC.
Advocates say fewer workdays are better for work-life balance and increase workers' performance. And now the change is gaining support among some members of Congress. The Congressional Progressive Caucus, a group of nearly 100 lawmakers, formally endorsed the 32-Hour Workweek Act. The bill wouldn't eliminate 40-hour work weeks. It would require employers to offer overtime pay after 32 hours.
First off,
is this like an entitlement?
Yeah, this
But
is
at
pretty much what it is.
But
yeah.
at least people are working.
Yeah.
You have to hand it to them. At least they're working this time.
And by the way, why in the world is Congress jumping in to force businesses to do this? Do you understand? Even COVID, we were going down this route, the marketplace where you negotiate with your boss, hey, can I work from home? COVID, if you like working from home, despite all the negativity that's come with COVID, this has almost been like a cake present we're given to you. And it's not even your birthday where people going, we've heard from a lot of people, hey, Ed and Roger, I kind of like working from home. I don't have any kids or my kids are off. I get to work from my home. I get to work on my jammies. Of course, everybody thinks me and Roger work on our jammies. But anyway, so I get to work on my jammies. I get to work. I produce more. My boss is taking care of me. And I didn't even ask for all this extra special benefit.
Yeah.
Having said this, I want Congress to jump in and mandate that businesses, and by the way, it's a one size fits all. That's the problem even further with this.
It's one of the problems.
So now we're going to want mandate business. Instead of 40 hours of work week, Roger, you need to get paid time and a half. You're going to make 32, and then they're going to jump on time and a half after 32.
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you, okay? I like the concept of giving people flexibility in their schedules, but I don't like the mandates. And here's the thing. People have doctor's appointments. Sometimes you have to meet with your bank. Sometimes you have appointments with the teacher. I like the idea that people have a day where they can just, participate in what's going on throughout the week. I don't like the mandates. I think probably a better solution, as opposed to requiring, private employers to do it. Why don't you just make federal employees, have that option, as opposed to private employers being forced to do that?
But with the way the marketplace is now, where most companies don't want you to leave, they're going to allow a lot of flexibility. Folks, let me just tell you something. If you're producing, work these days is not getting rid of you. All right?
Okay.
No, maybe in a different industry. But anyway, what I'm saying is if you are producing...
How long is that going to last, though?
Roger, that is a great question.
Yeah, but I like telecommuting. I like being I've got a buddy of mine who lives in the New York area. He's a computer coder, programmer. He's able to work 2 days a week from his house. He's got computers. Hey, that's a great opportunity.
This is the bottom line, folks. If you're producing, that is what work cares about. From the Fox Business Network, Hillary Vaughn. Listen to these clips coming up. The White House all ticked off at the Congressional Budget Office because now instead of $370 billion that's going to be added to the deficit of the Build Back Better plan, it's now going to be over $3 trillion.
Republicans fear programs in Build Back Better will be around forever and say Democrats aren't being upfront about what it will cost to keep them. President Biden's social spending package spans a decade, but some of the programs in it expire before that, like universal pre-K and the child tax credit. The Congressional Budget Office did the math. The true cost of the plan, if programs are permanent, almost $5 trillion.
Right.
And it would add $3 trillion to the debt without more taxes.
They will be permanent. Now, listen, I could play these clips all day. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki. The CBO score's a fake. They haven't even had an actual bill. And yet they're trying to talk about a bill. So you mean to tell me the bill hadn't been written yet?
But it's important to understand that when anybody raises a question about this new CBO score, it is a fake score about a bill that doesn't exist. And we should really focus on the actual bill everybody's going to vote on and consider.
Well, wait a second. So the bill hasn't even been written yet, Raj? That's pretty much what she's saying.
Are you surprised?
Well, no, you got me on that one.
People you have to pass it before you know what's in it, remember?
Touche. I could play those clips. Folks, I got more from her that we'll play here in just a little bit. It's absolutely classic. All right. More in just a couple of moments. Ed Dean, Roger Henderson. 625 Talk Radio, WBOB.
Where are the tie-ups to avoid WBOB traffic?
Starting off the morning with pretty smooth roads, but we do have our usual slow traffic around NAS Jacks. You're going to add an extra 4 minutes, and if you see anything, give us a call. 901 SAFE.
Cloudy skies today with a small chance of rain, the high 68. This evening, partly cloudy, the low drops to about 60, currently 55 degrees.
This traffic report is brought to you by J. David Tax Law. When you owe the IRS and can't pay, go to jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
Christmas shopping is easy 7 days a week at A. Army Navy Depot, San Juan and Blanding. A. Army Navy Depot is Jacksonville's only military surplus store with 4,000 square feet of camo clothes, insulated coveralls, M65 field coats, flight jackets, watch caps, gloves, and more. Check out the camping and survivor needs, military flags and pens, security, DOC, and first responder gear. Gift cards are available in 30-day layaway. A. Army Navy Depot, 4721 San Juan Avenue at Blanding.
Florida's economy depends on restoring America's Everglades. Everglades restoration will not only improve our environment, it will create 65,000 new infrastructure jobs and support hundreds of thousands of jobs tied to the real estate, recreation, and tourism industries. Let's invest in our future. Restore America's Everglades. Create jobs. Learn more at evergladesfoundation.org.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it time for open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For the typical family, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. And what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the customer satisfaction rate when compared to health insurance. Double. It really is remarkable. There's more than 400,000 members now who have shared more than $4 billion in medical bills, so they can handle your bills too. And here's the thing. If you join before December 15th, they'll waive your new member fee. So that's another $170 you'll save. I'll give you the number here in a second, but call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline, December 15th. So call now and you'll save even more. Call 844-55-BIBLE. That's 844-55-BIBLE. 844-55-BIBLE.
What if you had the opportunity to learn a trade for free? What if 9 weeks could change your life? Well, it can. American Electrical Academy is now accepting applications. Visit electricalacademy.org to learn more and apply today. A free 9-week training course in the electrical skill trade. You will get real life experience and hands-on training. Gain the confidence for success and your resume will stand out to potential employers. No prior experience necessary. Apply to this 9-week course to change the course of your life. electricalacademy.org. That's electricalacademy.org.
Contact the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 WBOB by calling 831-0600, 831-0600, or email ed@wbob.com. AM 600 and 101.1 FM. WBOB.
Sue, I got another clip I want to play for you coming up in just a couple of moments. Crime is going up in many major metropolitan cities, just many big cities. How about that? Okay. And when this was asked of the Biden White House, they downplay it again. Now, let me just set this up. The reason why their numbers are so bad among crime, inflation, parts of the economy, immigration, is because they take no responsibility. Folks, I understand. Now, they didn't inherit the mess at the border. They didn't inherit the mess with the economy. The economy was already coming back. Crime was a problem. That's because of many of the liberal mayors out there, many of the cities out there. We already had a supply chain shortage going on. But the way that their attitude is to the American people when they're asked this question, this is the reason why their numbers are in the tank, because they don't seem to have any answer towards it. It's blame Trump. I don't know if that's even working anymore.
Yeah, being president, I guess, is almost as bad as being a football coach.
Yeah.
You get blamed for everything, including things you have no control over.
Does Urban Meyer have control over things?
Yeah, he does.
All right. Yeah, we'll see about that. All right.
Still feel sorry for the guy, though.
I doubt. More coming up next. Talk Radio, WBOB.
AM 600 and 101.1 FM. The conservative voice of Jacksonville. WBOB.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Workers, volunteers, and members of the National Guard fanned out in tornado damaged areas of Kentucky to help with recovery tasks, large and small. The work ranges from replacing thousands of damaged utility poles to delivering things like drinking water and searching for more victims. The tornado outbreak Friday killed at least 88 people across 5 states. 74 of them were in Kentucky alone. Governor Andy Beshear said the death toll could grow as authorities continue to work around debris that slowed their recovery efforts initially. The House panel investigating the events of January 6 on Capitol Hill has voted to pursue contempt charges against former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. Lawmakers have also revealed a series of texts he received as the riot was underway. The text revealed that members of Congress, Fox News anchors, and even President Trump's own son were urging Meadows to push Trump to act quickly. This is
AM 600, 101.1 FM, WBOB News.
Good morning. I'm Patrick Johnson. A Kingsland woman's facing nearly 40 animal cruelty charges after investigators say they made a gruesome discovery at her home. The Camden County Animal Control had opened an investigation into the woman who was previously diagnosed with a mental health condition. The investigation opened after a sick puppy was found in the woman's driveway. An animal control officer was eventually given consent to look inside the woman's home, where they discovered at least a dozen dead animals. In all, 38 animals were either found dead or severely neglected at the home. The woman charged with animal cruelty. A Jacksonville woman is charged with manslaughter in a deadly shooting. Rachel Mona Jackson admitted to the Duval County Jail Saturday morning, though the arrest was not reported until Monday night. Cops believe that the mishandling of a firearm resulted in a man's death. And the governor's given state workers off the 23rd, 24th, 30th, and 31st. That's Jacksonville.radio news.
I'm Mark Kinder with Affordable Water. If you're considering a water system for your home or business, be sure you only work with licensed companies. A normal business license doesn't require any testing or experience. Licensed water companies have to go through educational classes and pass tests. We are licensed, insured, and have 30 years of serving Jacksonville. Affordable Water 262-0197. Affordable Water 262-0197. License number W32.
Visit us online at affordablewaterjacks.com.
Where are the tie-ups to avoid WBOB traffic?
Starting off the morning with pretty smooth roads, but we do have our usual slow traffic around NAS Jacks. You're going to add an extra 4 minutes, and if you see anything, give us a call. 901-SAFE.
Overcast today. We're looking at a chance of rain and a high in the upper 60s. This evening, partly cloudy. Our low is around 60 tonight. Right now, 57 degrees. Here are some of the top stories we're bringing you this morning. Some liberals, including politicians and celebrities, are using the tragedy in Kentucky to point fingers at Republicans for not doing enough to battle climate change. Progressive Democrats have announced they will bring up legislation to allow employees to work just 4 days a week. And a new ABC News poll finds that 61% don't approve of the Biden administration's handling of crime.
Contact the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 WBOB by calling 831-0600, 831-0600, or email ed@wbob.com. AM 600 and 101.1 FM. WBOB.
Don't forget to download that radio app. Put it on those iPhones, the smartphones, carriers, anywhere you would like. The morning show or other shows throughout the day at WBOB.com. There is no charge for you to do that, but you can watch me and Roger all the way with you to 9 a.m. Go to Facebook.com, Facebook Live. Just type in Ed and Roger Morning Show, and we will be set and ready to go.
We assume no liability either.
That's right. We have business insurance for you. All right, let's get to it. Ed Dean, Roger Henderson. Let me just play this one more time, because I got another good Jen Psaki clip.
Okay.
When asked about the CBO score, hey, it's went from 360. They didn't really chime against it when they claimed it was only about $360 billion in deficit from the Build Back Better plan. Then the CBO came out and said, well, actually, it's going to add about $3 trillion to the deficit. And this is what the White House said. It's a fake score. Catch this one more time.
But it's important to understand that when anybody raises a question about this new CBO score, it is a fake score about a bill that...
Now, can you imagine if the score had gone positive for the White House? Oh, it's the real deal.
Oh, yeah.
But now, hold on. Now, I want, for those of you listening, catch
Which
this.
is what we expect.
Catch this one more time. She says it's a, quote, fake score. But why?
Doesn't exist.
Hold on. Wait. Right there. Back. Yeah. There you go.
New CBO score. It is a fake score about a bill that doesn't exist.
The bill doesn't exist. Has any of the reporter caught this attention, what she just said? The bill doesn't exist. Then what are they voting on then? This, folks, you can't tell me the bill's paid for, but the bill doesn't exist. This is not the numbers you're looking at, like the droids from Star Wars.
Okay.
You know?
And we should really focus on the actual bill everybody's going to vote on and considering.
Well, wait, I'm confused. The bill doesn't exist. They scored it on, but there's an actual bill that, oh, my word. No reporter calls them out on this. Ed Dean, Roger Henderson, big spending. Listen to the Wall Street Journal's Jerry Baker. Wait a second. This guy is outdoing LBJ and, if you look at FDR, almost combined.
My question is, where is the mandate for this? He is enacting, as you've just described, and as everybody has just described, the largest remaking of American government and society, arguably since FDR, but it may well be significantly larger than LBJ's Great Society.
Yeah, he's exactly correct. Here is some of the challenges the White House is also facing, at least over the holidays.
President Biden facing a myriad of serious challenges, and they are cutting into his already low approval numbers. At the top of the list this holiday season is crime, amid a rash of high-profile, high-end robberies, scaring some shoppers away from the most crucial economic period of the year for retailers. The president also facing an uphill political battle over his massive tax and spend agenda.
Okay, that's host a special report on Fox News, Brett Baer. So the issue of crime, it's going from the West Coast. Now it's happening in Louisiana. It's almost like a cold front coming through. It happens. It's going to hit. Could it hit Florida? I don't know yet. Here is the Fox Business Network Stuart Varney. A new ABC News poll shows that the numbers are getting worse for the president. Again, let me just set this up. I do not blame President Biden for the crime that's taking place in many of these major cities. It's not his fault.
Yeah.
It's the liberal Democratic mayors. And by the way, there's a couple of Republicans there you can also throw in. It is the policies by the liberal prosecutors. Well, Ed, no, follow me for a second, because if you're going to accuse Biden, then fine, then it's going to be Trump's fault. Remember, crime rose after George Floyd, and they all wanted to blame Trump for that, and there was no way this was Trump's fault. But anyway, this is where I'm getting at. This is almost like the obnoxious attitude by that of the White House. Stuart Varney, 61%, ABC News poll, 61% say they do not approve of the White House's handling of crime here in the U.S.
President Biden's approval on crime plummeting. Those smash and grab robberies hit major cities across the country, and voters really don't like it. A new ABC News Ipsos poll shows just 36% approve of the president's handling of crime, 61% disapprove.
Okay, now, to me, Roger, I just think it's the attitude. Let me play for this clip, and you correct me where I'm wrong. So Fox News' Peter Doocy asked the White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, okay, crime, you got these poll numbers out there. Is it because of the policies by some of these liberal prosecutors in some of these liberal cities? Is it because of the mayors? What say you? This is the White House's response.
Do you think it's possible that big cities are dealing with these smash and grab robberies right now, an increase in criminal activity because some prosecutors are too soft on crime?
I would say we have seen.
Okay, hold on. So he says, hey, are the prosecutors too soft on crime? Here's the White House's response.
I would say we have seen. I'm not going to attribute the reasoning from here. What I will tell you is I'm
not going to attribute the reasoning from here. Well, okay. You know what I'm saying, but follow me. Make up something, will you? Come on.
She has been.
Oh, touche. That's a good one, right? Yeah, she has been.
We've seen an increase in crime over the course of the pandemic. There are a range of reasons for that. And what our focus is on is what we can do to address it.
Well, he's asking you the question to address it. And see, this is the reason why their numbers are going down. Is they're just? It's almost like a head fake.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna try to throw it long, but instead we're gonna give you a handoff that doesn't go more than maybe about a yard when I need to gain the 10 yards.
It almost
to get the first down.
350 million people with blindfolds on, trying to point fingers at who's responsible. And ultimately, in the natural, I think it's the parents. These are moms and dads who didn't spank their little.
Well, I like that attitude, Roger. Okay. No, these are adults. But I can't blame the parents. Currently, what is the reasoning why these things are organized?
Had the parents raised their kids with a little bit more discipline, they probably wouldn't have this problem.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay, so you can't blame President Biden for that.
But you can't go back to 20 years of blame back then. What is the current blame right now?
We can go forward with a difference. And honestly, and you're going to beat me up for this as well, I believe that people like me need to look at ourselves in the mirror, and because there are promises from the Bible that says if God's people act right, society gets better. And I blame myself for this, not President Biden.
So God's people get right in what way?
Repent, humble themselves, turn for the wicked
Well, we
ways.
know that's not going to happen here in the U.S.
We hope it will.
I hope it will too.
Praying it will.
Ain't happening. Slide's going down, Raj. Because if you got last days, the repentant part's almost back here now, isn't it? Unfortunately. I'm with you, but
I don't believe it's hopeless.
Well, I think it is. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in the last days now, would we? Think about that for a second. Now, having said all of this, get a little fun conversation, but having said it,
okay.
Right now, listen, I'm with you. Spank these kids but these guys are now in their 20s, in their 30s.
It's too late right now.
I agree. So what is the current reason?
Generation,
the current reason why I'm
stop
looking
it from happening 15, 20 years from now.
Raj,
if parents are raising their kids right going
Is this
forward.
Roger Henderson or Jen Psaki? I'm asking. No, I'm kidding with you. No, I'm asking you. What do you think is the current, at least a couple of current problems right now? Is it because they're not violent, so maybe we can get some house arrest?
This is violent. You're showing up with a hammer and
is that MC?
Right.
I love MC Hammer, but go ahead.
And you pull out a gun and pull out on someone, that's totally different.
So is it just most of these? I would have to assume are repeated offenders out there.
Maybe, I don't know. Got to catch them. These smash and grab things. That's pretty bad. Maybe there needs to be something where social media is monitored a little more closely. And I'm totally opposed to any type of privacy invasion. But maybe if police are watching, maybe they're planning these things online and could stop them before they happen. And it's tragic. We're in this.
I just want to know what you thought. Okay. Hey, by the way, you know what smash and grab was back in the days when you and I were teenagers? It was going in the mom's fridge, smashing certain things, grab it, and leave. Remember that?
Really?
I knew that.
What did you grab?
I don't know. Anything that was good to eat. Hey, gotta go, Mom. Of course, that was Dad's dinner for the night. But anyway.
Mom's spaghetti.
Mine like Mom's spaghetti, but she wasn't Italian. But
a little bit of M&M there.
Here was interesting. Host of Money Matters, Jane King, car prices. Remember just a few months ago, for a brand new car, it was around $43,000. Not anymore.
Well, prices for new cars hit an all-time high in November, $46,320. That is the 8th straight month of record highs for new cars. Now, according to Kelley Blue Book, that's 13% higher than November of 2020. Sales are down due to short supply, and that's also limiting the incentives and driving the average price higher.
Yeah, but by the way, Roger likes this because his cars are normally $75,000 to $80,000 for brand new. By the way, did you guys hear what she said right there, where the incentives are going down? They're not. What's there to give you? There's nothing on the car mat.
Yeah, they've got maybe new floor mats. Maybe
I played this.
Extra pair.
Yeah, I played this clip earlier. Governor DeSantis says it's time that you look out for Florida residents, and he's going to spend more money in his upcoming budget to battle illegal immigration.
Any of these contractors that are facilitating Biden's illegal policies, by anyone who's doing that forfeits the ability to have contracts with state and local government in the state of Florida, and they're going to be responsible for providing restitution to the state of Florida for every single person that they bring. Because when they dump somebody, a lot of costs end up being borne by the state.
Exactly.
Whether that's education, healthcare, whether that's the criminal justice system. We've got a lot of people in our state that need help, and we can't just have people who are from foreign countries displacing the needs of our own people.
I got some emails from some listeners, some Dems, say that, here he is, here comes the racism again, he can't win, so now he has to bring up an issue, a boogeyman issue that isn't happening in Florida, illegal immigration. That was his response.
How on earth can you call Ron DeSantis, of all people, a racist?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Well, they're Democrats. I can get it coming from them. I'm with you, dude. I'm totally with you. All right. All right. Ed Dean, Roger Henderson. All right. More coming up next. 904-831-0600. Can I ask a question for those of you listening? A 4-day work week. Now, should Congress mandate this now? Remember we had child labor laws back in the early 20th century. We're in the 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
Unions say it's the time. Unions support this, by the way. My question to you, I want to just to kind of expand on this, have a little bit of fun. Does your company allow you a 4-day work week? Does it allow you, I love nurses that listen to the show, that they work 12-hour, 3 days of 12-hour shifts.
Right.
And they get 4 days off. They love it.
They're able to take many vacations all year long.
Right. So here's the question. What has changed for those of you? I'd just love to hear your stories on this. 904-831-0600. Has work become more flexible between you and your boss, of much more of an appreciation that they have for you and you have for them because of COVID? Or has it been a lot more stringent because of supply shortages?
Yeah.
And or what do you think about the 4-day work week? They
might need you too badly to give you the 4-day work week.
The left, I'm not saying you're agreeing with the left, but the Democrats say that they're pushing for this, is that it would allow a work-life balance for stagnant pay that's been going on for decades. But they say it would allow much more of a balance to deal with families. Now, of course, this doesn't cover, for example, gig workers and independent contractors. But for those of you working, what do you think about going to a 4-day work week and then having 3 days off? I love that idea. I mean, I think it works out well.
Now, it wouldn't work for us because we have to be here 5 days.
Yeah, I get
a
no
week.
problem. Yeah, we can't do a best of show.
Right.
Because if something breaks out.
So, and we like being here. So,
I enjoy being here.
I'd be cool with maybe letting us leave at 9 one day a week.
I like being here. I don't know about Raj, but anyway. No kidding. But what I'm saying is how many of y'all, what do you like, but do you think the government needs to mandate this? And, because what's going to happen is, full-time now is at 32 hours a work week, and then the Democrats say that anything over that is going to be considered time and a half. Well, folks, the problem with this is the big companies can absorb it. The smaller companies cannot, like a hike in the minimum wage. So that's my question to you. At 904-831-0600, do you support this, that we should move to a 5-day to a 4-day work week? It should be mandated, but then again, do we not work 6 days sometimes? Sometimes during the week?
7.
Yeah.
7 in some cases.
Yeah, 7. Especially during tragedies. So the question is, what has been I just want to know, do we need to have this, or because of COVID, are we now going down the path where things are becoming a lot more flexible, where they need you and you need them, where your guys are having a conversation? I'm just kind of curious about that. 904-831-0600. Your call's coming up next. Talk Radio, WBOB.
Where are the tie-ups to avoid WBOB traffic?
Starting off the morning with pretty smooth roads, but we do have our usual slow traffic around NAS Jacks. You're going to add an extra 4 minutes, and if you see anything, give us a call. 901-SAFE.
Overcast today. We're looking at a chance of rain and a high in the upper 60s. This evening, partly cloudy. Our low is around 60 tonight. Right now, 57 degrees.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. If you've ever wondered why some jewelry stores and department stores always have a sale going at 50 to 75% off, there's a good reason. Because most of the time, they're not real sales. The prices are marked up so they can sell the piece at a big discount and still make the profit they need. If you wanted to find a realistic sales event, the store wouldn't run a year-round sale and the discounts would be a little more realistic. For example, Underwoods puts all of our diamond solitaire necklaces and ear studs on sale in December at 15% below the prices we sell at the rest of the year. So there's a genuine savings to the customer. We also take trade-ins, so it's the ideal time to buy for someone looking to grow their pendant or ear studs up to a larger size. Now at Underwoods, we don't run a lot of sales, but when we do, they're real and a good time to buy. So come see us at Underwoods, San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Warning! Huge hedge funds, national iBuyers, and Z-Lo ballers are making ridiculous offers to sellers here in Northeast Florida. They start with a decent price, but when the inspection comes, that number drops. Then closing costs, then fees. Don't fall for it. Bring these offers to iPayCashForHouses.com and let them beat them. Or better yet, get your best offer first right now at iPayCashForHouses.com. iPayCash4Houses.com. Let's go.
Would you like a Christmas gift that also makes you a winner for Valentine's Day? Reserve your stateroom on Family Life's Love Like You Meet It Marriage Cruise, February 6th through the 13th, sailing from Port Canaveral on Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Sea. 7 nights, 3 exotic ports. Family Life takes the whole ship and brings their own speakers and entertainers, all designed to enrich your marriage. Put this gift under your tree and find each other again. Use the promo code WBOB for 25% off. Go to lovelikeYouMeanItCruise.com.
The IRS and state agencies don't wait till after the holidays to demand payment or take collection action. J. David Tax Law and our firm of experienced tax attorneys live and work in this community, and we are standing by to defend you or your business and any IRS or state tax debt. Helping people in our community is what we do. For that reason, we invite you to join us in our support of worthy local charities. In this season of giving, please consider donating to Dreams Come True, Sanctuary on 8th Street, Cars for Our Troops, Rethreaded, the Ronald McDonald House, and Pax's Canine Cure. These organizations do a wonderful job for those in need. At J. David Tax Law, we believe strongly in being a responsible corporate citizen by providing funding to charities that support our community. We invite you to do the same, and we wish you and your family a happy and safe holiday season. If you have tax problems, call us now at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777 for a no-cost consultation, or find us on the web at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
WBOB is talk radio for Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia.
And here are some of the top stories we're bringing you this morning. New car prices hit a record high in the month of November. Some local media reports claim there are calls to fire Urban Meyer after a losing Jaguars football season. And Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody says her office has recovered more than $11 million lost by consumers in COVID-related fraud scams.
Contact the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 WBOB by calling 831-0600, 831-0600, or email ed@wbob.com. AM 600 and 101.1 FM. WBOB.
All right, let's go to Joe. What's up, Joe, this morning? Thanks for calling.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Hey, can you knock off that echo in the background, bro? That way I can hear you.
Sure, yeah.
No, it's
Yeah,
okay.
I just killed it.
What's up, man?
Oh, not a lot. You know, okay, so DeSantis is going to give all the state workers an 2 extra days off, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, who's paying for that?
The tax. Well, I mean, who pays for everything?
No, are they just reduced hours to?
No, I think they get the whole day off.
Or will they have work longer hours on the days they have to work? And I'm not sure how that works.
No, they're getting a couple extra days off, according to the reports.
Okay.
Yeah, they're getting 2 extra days off, probably with pay.
Yeah.
And you know, once you give something to a union, you know, it's then they start asking for it, and you know, I don't see where you know, nobody else is getting a day off to spend an extra day with their family. You know, if you're not a state worker.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, okay, so
How do we know that? I don't know what private companies are doing for their employees.
Right. Ed, I'm not talking about private companies. I'm talking about that somebody, you know, where's this money coming from?
They have it. I don't know. It could be coming from the feds. They're paying for it.
Do you think it's fiscally wise?
I have no clue what's going on behind the scenes. I wouldn't do it.
I don't have a problem with it.
Well, Ron, but they're not union workers, by the way. They're state. But I mean,
generally
they're already
speaking,
doing okay.
employees' jobs are not counting how many hours you worked. It's based on how many projects you get completed within a certain date range.
Hey,
and if they get the job done, let them go home.
No, I get it, but I mean, maybe they're making it up. I have no clue, Joe. I just saw the press release. That's all I saw.
Hey, should I shoot one more question?
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
This is going to be a funny. I heard you cough. Should I put on my mask?
Ah, that's funny.
Yes,
that's
you should.
funny. Yeah, hey, Joe, I heard a prank call. I love listening. I listen to a lot of Sirius XM radio when I'm on the road, just because I'm not a fan of other talk shows. I'm sorry. Roger and I set the bar high. I can't even listen to the Patriot 125. I mean, I just think it's Bore City out there. But having said that, I really do. Is BORE, Raj. I listen to good, clean, fun comedy. I like these prank phone calls. And one time they actually called somebody going, they were coughing over the phone, and the little kid goes, "I got to hang up with you. I don't want to catch COVID." I just thought it was funny.
Yep. All right, sir.
All right, brother. All right, so. I mean, listen, DeSantis is doing what DeSantis is doing. I'm not going to listen.
And I don't buy the whole argument that they're spending time with their families. They're probably doing things that would take pretty much an act of the state Senate to take the day off to do things that
hold on,
are only available 9 to 5 Monday
Let me
through
set
Friday.
this up. I'm not going to make excuses. To me, this is not a make or break deal for the governor to do this, okay? I mean, if this is, I'm sorry, it's not one for me. It is quite possible that with the special session, state workers had to be open, of course they're always open, or had to do extra work. And by the way, I was over in Tallahassee for a whole flipping week 2 weeks ago.
That's a very good point you make. Good observation.
And it was a committee week, but a lot of them had to work extra, so they didn't want to pay them more money, so they sat back and said, "We're just going to give you the day off." I don't know. I'm just
comp time in the future.
Right.
Who knows? But but it's difficult if you've ever had to raise kids to meet with the teacher without having to go and fill out paperwork to take the day off, or have a doctor's appointment or get the teeth cleaned, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So if you have a Monday or a Friday where you only work a half a day, hey, why not?
I'm with you. And by the way, the only reason why I've already been tested and stuff. My cough is much better. I do a lot of hunting. When it's 30-degree weather, I always come down with bronchitis. That's just the way it is. So, all right, more coming up next. Talk Radio WBOB.
Where are the tie-ups to avoid WBOB traffic?
Starting off the morning with pretty smooth roads, but we do have our usual slow traffic around NAS Jax. You're going to add an extra 4 minutes, and if you see anything, give us a call. 901-SAFE.
Overcast today. We're looking at a chance of rain and a high in the upper 60s. This evening, partly cloudy. Our low is around 60 tonight. Right now, 57 degrees.
At Honest Abe Roofing, they don't give estimates, they give quotes, because estimates often turn into hidden costs. Many dollars added on to an already expensive purchase. But at Honest Abe Roofing, you get a free 16-point inspection before your quote. So that's what you'll pay, period. Honest Abe Roofing advisors have the experience to give you a quote they will stand behind. And you can count on. Honest Abe Roofing, 904-341-ROOF. Call now to receive new gutters with any new roof installed.
We spend 90% of our lives indoors, and the air we breathe indoors is filled with airborne viruses, bacteria, mold, and other toxins that pollute our air, making you feel tired, less productive, and can risk your health. Protect the air you breathe with Bright Light Air. Bright Light Air is a chemical-free, green, patented technology. It creates the same air purification process that occurs in nature through solar and geothermal energies to keep your space clean. It's already being used in schools, universities, sports arenas, and hospitals. It's proven to be effective in eliminating 99% of viruses, bacteria, mold, and fungi. And now it's available for your home. Bring nature's air quality indoors. Visit brightlightair.com to learn more or call 833-444-BREATHE because keeping your family safe is a priority.
Maintaining your community or company facility security is a priority, and it just became a lot easier. Sunbelt Gated Access Systems is now a Brevo Access dealership. Brevo's streamlined process is cloud-based, providing easy system access from anywhere on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Invest in total security for your community or business, all managed through one cloud-based software platform. Improve responsiveness, manage your access control, and enhance your overall security needs. Visit sunbeltsys.com. That's sunbeltsys.com.
Hi, my name is Charmaine. I entered City Rescue Mission's Life Builders Addiction Recovery Program in May 2020 during the height of COVID-19. My journey to CRM was not an easy one. I was homeless, jumping from couch to couch, bus stop to bus stop, only focused on feeding my drug and alcohol addictions to cover a lifetime of hurt and anger. Little did I know that God was guiding me to City Rescue Mission. The first night I got here, I cried. It just felt so good to be clean and safe. Over the past year, I have received the help and love that I have needed for so long. I will soon move into my own apartment, something I have never had in my life before. God guided me to CRM, and I will not let Him or myself down. And I'm finally excited about life.
I'm Paul Stassi, Executive Director of City Rescue Mission. This is just one example of the many lives who have been transformed here at CRM. Couldn't do it without you. Would you continue to help us to provide hope
5 seconds
for those in need? Visit us at crmjax.org to learn more or make a donation.
Coming up next, Democrats and a lot of those on the liberal left are using the unfortunate deaths and tragedy from the tornadoes that happened over the weekend in Kentucky to say that, well, we're not doing enough to battle climate change. I got the clips. And then Congress now wants it. They think they can do it within the next couple weeks, if not by January. They want to bring up a bill that says businesses, no more 40-hour work weeks. Instead, it's 32-hour work weeks, and anything past that is time and a half. Wow. I guess, are they really looking out for your back pocket?
That's not going to pass.
So anyway, we'll talk more about this coming up next. Ed Dean, Roger Henderson, Talk Radio, WBOB.
AM 600 WBOB Jacksonville, 101.1 FM W266CX Fruit Cove, the conservative voice of Jacksonville.
Breaking news this hour at townhall.com. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Workers, volunteers, and members of the National Guard fanned out in tornado damage areas of Kentucky to help with recovery tasks, both large and small. The work there ranging from things like replacing thousands of damaged utility poles to smaller things like delivering bottles of drinking water to those in need, and of course the ongoing search for more victims. The tornado outbreak Friday killed at least 88 people in 5 states. 74 of them were in Kentucky alone. Among those killed in last week's tornadoes, a young Missouri girl who sheltered in her family's home just before it was split apart by the storm. The girl's aunt, Sandra Hooker, says one of the girl's sisters remembers flying through the air.
She remembers flying inside the tornado. And she told the doctors and nurses at Le Bonheur when they asked, did she know what happened to her? She said, yes, I was flying around in the tornado and I prayed to Jesus to take care of me.
In a photo Hooker posted online, the 3 sisters can be seen taking shelter in a windowless bathroom shortly before the storm hit. 9-year-old Aniston Rackley died. The rest of the family survived that ordeal. A Senate holdout continues to make life difficult for fellow Senate Democrats, and President Biden, as time ticks away, for passage of a signature piece of legislation.
President Biden and other Democrats are trying to get West Virginia's Joe Manchin to finally agree to support the long-stalled $2 trillion social and environmental package. Manchin, after talking with Biden by phone Monday evening, said they were talking about different iterations. He added anything's possible when asked if a deal could be reached by Christmas. He doesn't like the cost of the measure nor parts of the plan, including paid family leave and medical leave. Other unresolved issues, the Senate parliamentarian could rule several provisions would violate Senate reconciliation rules.
That's Tim McGuire reporting. More from Town Hall.
News on WBOB, AM 600 and 101.1 FM.
Good morning, I'm Patrick Johnson. A woman arrested throwing feces and spitting on a Putnam County deputy while in the backseat of a patrol car. Deputies received a report Monday of someone carrying a machete and acting erratically inside of a Winn-Dixie store in Crescent City. When officers informed Brown of an outstanding warrant, she became violent and started fighting with deputies. She kicked a deputy in the face. They were eventually able to restrain her. Brown turned into the Putnam County Jail. Cops found a 12-gram bag of meth in the back seat, which reportedly came from the 41-year-old. A date has been set for the sentencing hearing for the 3 men convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery in Brunswick, Georgia. Gregory McMahon, Travis McMichael, and William Roddy Bryant will be sentenced January 7th. All 3 face possible life sentences. A 21-year-old has been arrested and charged with manslaughter after a man was shot to death on Friday. JSO responding to the shooting reported initially on Bennington Drive. That's Jacksonville.radio news.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Do flowers have best friends? I don't know. Hey, look. Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Jacksonville's only morning local political talk show, the Ed Dean Radio Show. News, opinion, and your chance to call in with your opinion. Weekdays 6 till 9 a.m. on AM 600 WBOB. Where are the tie-ups to avoid WBOB traffic?
Starting off the morning with pretty smooth roads, but we do have our usual slow traffic around NAS Jacks. You're going to add an extra 4 minutes, and if you see anything, give us a call. 901-SAFE.
Overcast today. We're looking at a chance of rain and a high in the upper 60s. This evening, partly cloudy. Our low is around 60 tonight. Right now, 57 degrees. And here are some of the top stories we're bringing you this morning. Progressive Democrats have announced they will bring up legislation to allow employees to work just 4 days a week. A new ABC News poll finds 61% don't approve of the Biden administration's handling of crime. And several liberals, including politicians and celebrities, are using the tragedy in Kentucky to point fingers at Republicans for not doing enough to battle climate change.
Contact the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 WBOB by calling 831-0600, 831-0600, or email ed@wbob.com. AM 600 and 101.1 FM WBOB.
Hey, we're coming up on 7:04. Good morning. Fast hour, and guess what? Sometimes hour number one, I don't know if it's, hour one more exciting? No, I don't know.
I got to fix all the typos in the news.
Yeah, I know.
But other than that.
So anyway, everybody goes, Ed,
why does Roger stumble so much?
When guests come on, I go, guys, the 3 hours, sometimes calls blow up in the first hour that you'll never see in the following remaining 2 hours. It's just the way it is. Big audience. We're thankful to God every day for it. And all of you that tune in, thanks so much. It's Ed Dean, Roger Henderson. Let's get to the news right here on Talk Radio, WBOB, the latest with the amount of unfortunate deaths that's now taken place in the state of Kentucky and others. Here is Fox News' Mike Tobin.
And you've got power crews in here from all over the region as you still have some 26,500 people without power, and another cold night is setting in. On Wednesday, the people here will get a visit from President Biden as he will try to offer some encouragement to the people who had the misfortune of being in the path of this once-in-a-lifetime tornado.
But liberal left and some elected officials are trying to take advantage of the unfortunate weather and deaths that happened in Kentucky, with several groups blaming Republicans for not doing enough on climate change.
Others are blaming the tragedy on climate change. Actor Mark Ruffalo tweeting, "This is what hashtag climate catastrophe looks like. It's only going to get worse from here." While FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell fired off this stark warning.
This is going to be our new normal, and the effects that we're seeing from climate change are the crisis of our generation.
Fox News' Aisha Hassin. The White House is dealing with certain challenges over the holidays. A big social spending bill raises spending and taxes, and the issue of crime that's increased in many major cities.
President Biden facing a myriad of serious challenges, and they are cutting into his already low approval numbers. At the top of the list this holiday season is crime, amid a rash of high-profile, high-end robberies scaring some shoppers away from the most crucial economic period of the year for retailers. The president also facing an uphill political battle over his massive tax and spend agenda, that social spending bill.
Fox News anchor Brett Baer, according to a new poll by ABC News, it's getting worse for at least the White House's view of how they need to handle crime. From the Fox Business Network, Stuart Varney.
President Biden's approval on crime plummeting. Those smash and grab robberies hit major cities across the country, and voters really don't like it. A new ABC News Ipsos poll shows just 36% approve of the president's handling of crime, 61% disapprove.
Many of you that work a 5-day work week, if Democrats in Congress get their way, you only have to work 4 days and get paid extra for time and a half.
Advocates say fewer work days are better for work-life balance and increase workers' performance. And now the change is gaining support among some members of Congress. The Congressional Progressive Caucus, a group of nearly 100 lawmakers, formally endorsed the 32-Hour Workweek Act. The bill wouldn't eliminate 40-hour work weeks. It would require employers to offer overtime pay after 32 hours.
That is from CNBC. Car prices going up as well as inflation, but heavily. For those of you that want to buy a brand new car, you're going to end up paying more.
Well, prices for new cars hit an all-time high in November, $46,320. That is the 8th straight month of record highs for new cars. Now, according to Kelley Blue Book, that's 13% higher than November of 2020. Sales are down due to short supply, and that's also limiting the incentives and driving the average price higher.
That's from Money Matters' Jane King. And will he stay or will he go? Several of those of hardcore Jags fans say that Urban Meyer doesn't need to be around anymore. News 4 Jack's Scott Johnson.
A quick scan of national headlines shows the drama filling the Jaguars organization right now. Tension boiling over between Coach Urban Meyer, Jaguars players, staff. Here is what's protecting Urban Meyer right now. The Jaguars owe him a ton of money. And this headline saying Meyer threatens to fire source of leaks after reports of in-house drama. Now even the diehard fans like John Fichter, a man who has literally recreated his apartment into a shrine of all things teal and black, thinks Meyer has to go.
Yeah, I saw that clip with that guy. I mean, it is literally, it looks like a kid's room, but it is completely Jags in his apartment. I'm talking, it looks like a museum.
He loves his fan. He loves his team. He's a fan.
Yeah, I love teams, but I don't go overboard on that. I like this guy. I want to know if this guy's got a girlfriend. That would be my main question. Dude, are you going to church? You dating a girl or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't want you dying alone, dude. All right? Anyway, all right. 4-day work week. That's what the progressive left says they want to do. And do they have the votes? The question is, how many of y'all would like that? 32-hour work week, anything above or beyond 32 is time and a half. We got all of this coming up next. It's Ed and Roger. Talk Radio WBOB.
Where are the tie-ups to avoid WBOB traffic?
Starting off the morning with pretty smooth roads, but we do have our usual slow traffic around NAS Jacks. You're going to add an extra 4 minutes, and if you see anything, give us a call. 901-SAFE.
Overcast today with a slight chance of rain, the high 68. This evening, a few clouds with a low of 61. Currently, it's 60 degrees.
When plumbing problems happen, trust the professionals at All Around Plumbing. All Around Plumbing handles everything from water heater replacements, gas tankless water heaters, backflow testing, stop drains, even bathroom remodels. All Around Plumbing has flexible scheduling and hours, affordable prices, and a 30-day parts and labor warranty. Military discounts are offered, plus $20 off for new customers. For all of your home or business plumbing needs, schedule today with All Around Plumbing. 904-338-4958. 338-4958.
If you're like most people, you're probably more than a little concerned about the state of the world around us today. Strange times. The stock market all-time highs every day. U.S. debt never been higher right now. Dollars losing value. And let's not forget about inflation, the highest since 2008. Remember what happened in 2008. So, how do you protect your money, your retirement, your savings? Well, many people, just like you, are turning to Old Faithful to protect themselves during these difficult times. And Old Faithful is real gold and silver from the Oxford Gold Group, the kind you can actually hold in your hands and have in your IRA. No better time than the present to protect your future and the future of your family. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now, 833-928-GOLD. They will send you their free guide on investing in gold and silver and answer all of your questions. Protect your money before things get even worse out there. Call the Oxford Gold Group today at 833-928-GOLD. Oxford is here to help you protect your savings and retirement. That's 833-928-GOLD.
Hi, I'm Dr. Isla Rose with 100% Chiropractic, and our Jacksonville board-certified chiropractors will create a customized treatment plan to target and relieve your pain. Our Jacksonville office is a family-friendly wellness clinic, welcoming and accommodating every member of your family, regardless of age.
Get started on the road to wellness by calling 904-659-6664 or visit 100%chiropractic.com and ask about their $49 special, which includes your exam and x-rays. And remember, life is great at 100%.
Make someone's day with a little help from Kuhn Flowers. Fresh flowers have a way of adding that extra bit of beauty to your home. They're also a great way to brighten someone's day. And what better way is there to show someone just how much you care than with a fresh bouquet of flowers? One thing's for sure, when you order flowers from Kuhn Flowers, they're the brightest, most colorful, professionally arranged, long-lasting floral arrangements available. Call Kuhn Flowers today, 398-8601. That's 398-8601. Or you can shop online anytime at KuhnFlowers.com. Kuhn Flowers, making memories since 1947.
My name is Walter, and I work at Pine Castle. I'm currently a direct support professional, the Life Enrichment Pathway, so we do a lot of work skills. I think the biggest surprise to me about working at Pine Castle is if you take away the disability, you will realize that they are just like us in every way. And I think a lot of people tend to make that mistake by judging just by what they see. Because once you know them, to know them is to love them.
You can make a difference. Apply today at pinecastle.org.
Financial Issues with Dan Celia at 9 this morning. Now, back to the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 and 101.1 FM, WBOB.
Here are some of the top stories we're bringing you this morning. Some local media reports claim there are calls to fire Urban Meyer after a losing Jaguars football season. Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody says her office has recovered more than $11 million lost by consumers in COVID-related frauds and scams. And new car prices hit a record high in the month of November.
Contact the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 WBOB by calling 831-0600, 831-0600, or email ed@wbob.com. AM 600 and 101.1 FM, WBOB.
So now it's unfortunate that we're probably going to exceed 100 deaths, what happened with the storms that took place over the weekend in Kentucky. Now members of the Hollywood elite, the liberal left, and some elected officials are now trying to use this unfortunate tragedy as a way to finger point at Republicans for not doing enough on the issue of, you guessed it, climate change. Fox News' Aisha Hassin.
Others are blaming the tragedy on climate change. Actor Mark Ruffalo tweeting, "This is what hashtag climate catastrophe looks like. It's only going to get worse from here." While FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell fired off this stark warning.
This is going to be our new normal, and the effects that we're seeing from climate change are the crisis of our generation.
Really? So is that to mean that if we get an average amount of storms in the summertime that create, quote, Florida ice, which means that's where the oil drops and the water comes in, the ice, the oil is slick and everything's like sliding on ice.
Right.
Is that to be blamed on climate change as well? Or is that just a typical afternoon storm that we get here every day in Florida?
Here's what I believe is going on right now. I believe those who've spoken out, the politicians and the Hollywood elite who have said this is because of climate change, they probably got email from their friends in the science community say, wait, quiet. This has nothing to do with what we've been talking about with climate change all these years. And I think that's the reason why we're starting to hear some backtracking and maybe even apologies for, some of these claims.
Where did you hear the backtracking and the apologies?
Didn't the president say we're not sure?
No, he had to correct himself on that. Doesn't stop the other left.
All right.
Here was the president jumping into the mix. Clip number 7.
The intensity of the weather across the board has some impact as a consequence of the warming of the planet and the climate change. The specific impact on these specific storms, I can't say at this point. We can't say with absolute certainty that it was because of climate change.
So the president's always backtracking on many things.
That's their best way of backtracking while saving face at the same time.
Yeah. Here was here's writer with the Wall Street Journal and National Review, Douglas Murray, author of the book, The Madness of Crowds. Talks about the far left and everything else, the woke crowd. He says, wait a second. We've got studies and stories on the issues of tornado activity, which has been normal over the last many years, and to sit back and to try to pin this point out or try to pinpoint this out as though it was somehow the Republicans' fault because they don't support enough of climate change is absolutely nonsense.
There is abundant evidence that there has been no change in the frequency of tornadoes in the United States of America in recent decades. That's not my view. That's a view of, for instance, The Economist magazine that wrote this only recently. The Economist is not a far-right publication. It's a center-left publication. It was clear about that because the data shows that there is no significant increase, no change in the number of tornadoes that have affected the United States in recent decades. Natural disasters now are used by Democrats and people on the climate left in particular as just another opportunity to push a particular political ideology.
Yeah, he's exactly correct. You know what this does? Let me tell you. The reason why crime is taking place, maybe they weren't raised properly. I get it. But they're 25 years old. I'm sorry, I don't go back 15, 20 years ago to put blame on something that happened 15, 20 years later. Somebody used a gun in a criminal situation. So instead of blaming the victim, who was responsible, not the victim, instead of blaming the individual who pulled this stunt off, we want to blame the gun manufacturers. We want to blame the gun salesperson who sold you that gun.
Blame it on China for inventing gunpowder in the first place.
I mean, for crying out loud. I mean, who's next? We're going to try to take another Grammy away from Milli Vanilli because they blamed it on the rain back in, 1989, 1990, which is kind of a good song. Blame it on the rain. Anyway. It's always a blame game. This is no different than the White House. Again, this is the reason why the White House's numbers are down so bad is because they just, that's somebody else's comment they need to make about. At least address the situation. But they're addressing it in the wrong way. We're constantly blaming when it pinpoints that we got to go after Republicans and conservatives somehow with climate change, but they have no clue on how to fix, by the way. They're just throwing it up in the air and see which way it blows to somehow use this tragedy on Republicans. 4-day work week. How many of y'all, raise your hand, how many of y'all, okay, I see it. Well, I'm sorry, I was looking in the mirror. 4-day work week. How many of y'all like that? Democrats want to mandate businesses now. They got legislation ready to come up. Democrats in the U.S. House of Representatives want to bring up legislation that would create and mandate a 32-hour work week. Now, many of you that work 40 hours a work week get paid overtime, right?
If they work more than 40, yeah.
Okay. Is there an echo in here? Okay, I'm just joking around. Of course, some of you don't. But anyway, if you get holidays, time, and whatever.
Right.
And some days it could be double time and a half, depending on what it could be. Now Democrats say, no, 32 hours is full time, and anything over will be considered overtime that we will mandate that your employer must pay.
Advocates say fewer workdays are better for work-life balance and increase workers' performance. And now the change is gaining support among some members of Congress. The Congressional Progressive Caucus, a group of nearly 100 lawmakers, formally endorsed the 32-Hour Workweek Act. The bill wouldn't eliminate 40-hour work weeks. It would require employers to offer overtime pay after 32 hours.
Of course, the Democrats and the unions love this. They say that it is a win-win for many of you out there. It'll correct the decades of long hours with stagnant pay in the U.S. Now, this doesn't always include such as gig workers, independent contractors, but progressives along with labor unions say they support this because it'll balance life out. Wow, I guess they're looking out for my family, but then again, they're not looking out for my family and other issues. So
I cannot see this passing nationally, where they're requiring private employers to do this. But what it probably will do is spark a conversation with lead incrementalism, and it wouldn't be surprising that some unions end up negotiating that kind of arrangement in their contracts, and maybe even the federal government level they start doing this.
To those of you out there, I asked this question. We took some emails and some calls in hour number one, 904-831-0600. If things were moving down the route of you making more money, or at least more flexible hours, dealing with your employer/employee, if there's one positive thing, I just said one, I'm not saying it's the overall, but one positive thing about COVID is because of what's going on with the 11 million job openings out there. We're trying to create or recruit new workers, but yet nobody ever talks about how they're trying to keep on your current workers that are bringing in more revenue and things like that. I would have to assume one good thing about this is, has the employer treated the employee much better as far as working from home? Mm-hmm. Instead of working 5 days a week, you work 4, productivity is up. We're going to let you take that extra day off. To you out there listening, I'm not going to like put you in the spot to tell me what company it is. But has there been a flexibility between you and your employer or overall HR where you sit back and say, Ed, I get paid for 40 hours, but I only have to work 4 days a week? See, the problem with this legislation is, first off, business should not be mandated by the federal government on this at all. Number two, it's a one-size-fits-all. It's kind of like the minimum wage. Well, Amazon and Disney and Walmart can afford to pay $15 an hour, but the smaller mom and pop shop cannot.
Right.
That's the problem. So it's a one-size-fits-all. Oh my word, here we go again. No one looks out for the small business guy and gal. But how many of y'all would support a 4-day work week? And does it encourage people? I get the idea. I think it encourages them to get more productivity down. Get the coffee out of my mouth. That way they can take off on Friday. I like the idea of a 4-day work week. I just don't believe government should be mandated to employers and businesses.
Yeah, creative scheduling is a good thing. You know, maybe instead of, working just 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, do 10 hours, 4 days a week.
Yeah.
And that may be a solution. And one thing that COVID, and unfortunately is a tragedy overall, but one thing COVID has shown employers is that all the data shows that when people are allowed to work from home, they're actually more productive and they get more done.
Yeah.
And they're saving money on gas.
How
everything.
about this? Has there been a better relationship with you and your boss? Let me ask you that. Have they treated you much better during COVID because they don't want to lose you? Here's the whole thing. I like the 4-day work week. I support it. I do not support legislation mandating businesses. I support the idea of doing it. Now, if they don't want to do it, that's fine. But think about it. If you believe that you can get, we knew this when we were younger, if you could get all your work done, I realize this as an older adult, if you get all your work done by Thursday, I'm going hunting Friday and Saturday.
With the same level of quality.
Same level of quality. And by the way, if you're producing more, guess what? Why not just work 32 hours a week and get paid 8 because the company's still making a little more money?
Exactly, yeah.
I love that idea.
Morale is high, loyalty is high.
That's right. But should it be mandated by the feds? Heck, no. So that's my question. So now I'm curious. Email address, ed@wbob.com. I always enjoy reading your emails. 904-831-0600. Do you support the 4-day work week? Should it be mandated? Or how many of you believe that, hey, Ed, we are producing more, but the boss doesn't seem to recognize? How many? Again,
or maybe you're the boss. How do you feel about giving your employees a 4-day work week?
Even better, Raj. I'm not going to put you on the spot to give me the name of your company. I just kind of want to know, what is the feel out there with the age of COVID? Has the employer-employee relationship been less strained, or what's your perception now on this? Or is it because of COVID and you're working more from the house, has it put more stress on you? I'm kind of curious about that. Hey, by the way, I'm just kind of curious. If you're going to be like working from the home for quite a while, why do you need to get the vaccine?
Good question.
Just curious.
A lot of media people are now working from home. We see TV reports that are all over YouTube with the weather person, doing the weather, and they're in their living room with a green, background.
That's funny, yeah.
And then the cat walks by. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Coming up on 725, Ed and Roger Talk Radio, WBOB.
Where are the tie-ups to avoid WBOB traffic?
Some slow traffic on 295 headed south right before Blanding Boulevard. That left lane is blocked and you'll add an extra 4 minutes. And we have slow traffic on 295 headed south right between Beach Boulevard and Town Center Parkway at about 5 minutes. If you see anything, give us a call. 901-SAFE.
Overcast today with a slight chance of rain, the high 68. This evening, a few clouds with a low of 61. Currently, it's 60 degrees.
This traffic report is brought to you by J. David Tax Law. When you owe the IRS and can't pay, go to jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
Florida's economy depends on restoring America's Everglades. Everglades restoration will not only improve our environment, it will create 65,000 new infrastructure jobs and support hundreds of thousands of jobs tied to the real estate, recreation, and tourism industries. Let's invest in our future. Restore America's Everglades. Create jobs. Learn more at evergladesfoundation.org.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it time for open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For the typical family, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. And what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the customer satisfaction rate when compared to health insurance. Double. It really is remarkable. There's more than 400,000 members now who have shared more than $4 billion in medical bills, so they can handle your bills too. And here's the thing. If you join before December 15th, they'll waive your new member fee. So that's another $170 you'll save. I'll give you the number here in a second, but call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline, December 15th. So call now and you'll save even more. Call 844-55-BIBLE. That's 844-55-BIBLE. 844-55-BIBLE.
At the Y, we take great pride in strengthening our community and helping all of us be our best selves. Our programs empower young people, improve health and well-being, and inspire action in our communities. Today and every day, no matter where you are on your journey, we're here for you. We're here for all. Stop by or visit us at fcymca.org to discover new ways to connect with your potential, your purpose, and each other. Join us. Together, we're stronger for our community.
Tried Eucrisa for mild to moderate eczema? It works at and below the skin surface and can be used on almost everybody, like on the dimples of a diva.
Yeah, roll your boat. Yeah, roll your boat.
Or the shoulders of a chef.
Look, Mom, I made jelly beans on toast.
Steroid-free Eucrisa works at and below the skin surface. It blocks PDE4 enzymes, which is believed to reduce inflammation, even on the wrist of a rebel.
What did you do to your hair?
What?
The specific way Eucrisa works is not well defined. Prescription Eucrisa for mild to moderate eczema is for topical use only in ages 3 months and up. Do not use if you are allergic to Eucrisa, crisaborole ointment 2%, or its ingredients. Allergic reactions including hives, itching, swelling, and redness may occur at or near the application site. The most common side effect is application site pain, such as burning or stinging.
Come on, moms and dads. Check out Eucrisa.com and ask your doctor about Eucrisa.
Can I sing one more song?
Contact the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 WBOB by calling 831-0600, 831-0600, or email ed@wbob.com. AM 600 and 101.1 FM. WBOB.
Coming up next, I got some clips of the reactions by the White House on the Build Back Better spending plan and the poll number of 61%. The majority of you out there, that includes some Democrats and independents as well, besides Republicans, do not think that the White House is properly at least addressing the issue of dealing with the rising rate of crime throughout the country. It's the attitude or response is the reason why their numbers are down. All right? So we'll get into all this in just a little bit. When you play these clips, just sit back and go, man, was that a little condescending, or is that just... I think just I don't think Jen Psaki is going to be around much longer. Now, she's not going to get fired. I think she's just going to sit back and say, hey, I'm stepping down.
Let the other girl do it.
Yeah. Let the other girl do it. So anyway, more coming up next. Talk Radio, WBOB.
AM 600 and 101.1 FM. The conservative voice of Jacksonville. WBOB.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Senator Joe Manchin is signaling anew that he is still not ready to back his party's controversial $2 trillion social and environment legislation. His party leaders scramble for a pathway to advance a long-stalled package, preferably by Christmas. The West Virginia Democrat spoke to President Biden by phone on Monday, but declined to describe the nature of the conversation. Manchin has been resisting both the size and scope of that bill, calling much of the spending wasteful. Workers, volunteers, and members of the National Guard fanned out in tornado-damaged areas of Kentucky to help with recovery tasks there. The work ranging from replacing things like utility poles to reaching out to individual families. The tornado outbreak Friday killed at least 88 people across 5 states. 74 of them were in Kentucky alone. On Wall Street right now, Dow futures are up 23 points. This is SRN News.
AM 600, 101.1 FM, WBOB News.
Good morning, I'm Patrick Johnson. A Georgia judge has set the sentencing date for 3 men who were convicted in November for the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. Same judge who presided over the trial has ordered Gregory and Travis McMichael as well as William Roddy Bryant to be sentenced on January 7th. 3 defendants face a minimum of life in prison. JSO's arrested a 21-year-old woman accused of shooting to death a man last week. Rachelle Mona Jackson charged with manslaughter for her role in the shooting. JSO initially responding to a call of shots fired on Bennington Drive. Pete's Bar is being sold to new ownership in Neptune Beach. It's been a popular watering hole for the masses for over 80 years. During Prohibition, the bar's first owner used to sell bootleg liquor from his nearby grocery store. And yes, new ownership says the Thanksgiving tradition at Pete's will continue. That's Jacksonville.Radio News.
I'm Mark Kinder with Affordable Water. There's a process in water treatment called ion exchange. This process actually removes hardness using very little salt with our demand-metered systems. Our dual media system softens and filters water for your home or business. Affordable Water has been educating and serving Jacksonville for 30 years. We're licensed locally as well as on the state and national level. Affordable Water, 262-0197. That's Affordable Water, 262-0197. License number W32.
Where are the tie-ups to avoid WBOB traffic?
Some slow traffic on 295 headed south right before Blanding Boulevard. That left lane is blocked and you'll add an extra 4 minutes. And we have slow traffic on 295 headed south right between Beach Boulevard and Town Center Parkway at about 5 minutes. If you see anything, give us a call. 901-SAFE.
Overcast today with a slight chance of rain, the high 68. This evening, a few clouds with a low of 61. Currently, it's 60 degrees. And here are some of the top stories we're bringing you this morning. A new ABC News poll finds that 61% don't approve of the Biden administration's handling of crime. Several liberals, including politicians and celebrities, are using the tragedy in Kentucky to point fingers at Republicans for not doing enough to battle climate change. And progressive Democrats have announced they will bring up legislation to allow employees to work just 4 days a week.
Contact the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 WBOB by calling 831-0600, 831-0600, or email ed@wbob.com. AM 600 and 101.1 FM. WBOB.
So as many of you know, I want to get to this clip in just a second. Plus, we'll get to some calls at 904-831-0600. Fox Business Network Hillary Vaughn points out that, the CBO came out with the numbers on the real amount of spending dealing with the, quote, Build Back Better plan.
Republicans fear programs in Build Back Better will be around forever and say Democrats aren't being upfront about what it will cost to keep them. President Biden's social spending package spans a decade, but some of the programs in it expire before that, like universal pre-K and the child tax credit. The Congressional Budget Office did the math. The true cost of the plan, if programs are permanent, almost $5 trillion. And it would add $3 trillion to the debt without more taxes.
Okay, so this question was asked of the White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki. Listen to her response. Oh, it's a fake score, like fake news. It's a fake score. I mean, folks, this is really a complicated answer. We're going to break it down for you. Here's the clip.
But it's important to understand that when anybody raises a question about this new CBO score, it is a fake score about a bill that doesn't exist. And we should really focus on the actual bill everybody's going to vote on and considering in Congress.
Okay. This caught my attention. She says it's a fake score on, quote, a bill that doesn't exist.
Could the same logic could be applied to it costing zero? But anyway, go ahead.
Question about this new CBO score. It is a fake score about a bill that doesn't exist.
So, hey, Roger, that's the reason why it's zero cost. It doesn't exist.
It doesn't
How about that?
exist yet.
So wait a second.
They show their hand.
I'm confused here. If the bill doesn't exist, then what are you voting on? Hold on. She's got an answer to that.
And we should really focus on the actual bill everybody's going to vote on and considering.
Well, wait a second. So, I'm sorry. Wait. If you mean to tell me that the CBO got the wrong bill, then fine. But this doesn't make sense. It's a fake score. Then it's on a bill that doesn't exist. Instead, they need to do the real numbers on the existing bill that we plan to vote in favor of. What?
Do the same thing that says the cost of this, what was it, $3 trillion is going to be zero.
Yeah. Folks, this doesn't make sense. That caught my attention. I would have followed, again, the follow-up question is always when I say that the reporters sometimes, and for the most time, don't properly ask.
Bless their heart.
I'd be like, what in the world are you talking about? A rough day? So anyway, I just thought I was kind of curious on that one. The bill doesn't exist. One more here. Before I get to the calls, 904-831-0600. I'm going to play one more clip here. Two more clips real quick. 61% of you out there say that the White House is not properly addressing the crime situation here in the U.S.
President Biden's approval on crime plummeting. Those smash and grab robberies hit major cities across the country, and voters really don't like it. A new ABC News Ipsos poll shows just 36% approve of the president's handling of crime, 61% disapprove.
That's from the Fox Business Network, Stuart Varney. Now, before I get to the clip from Jen Psaki, the reason, let me just play for you the clip. This is going to prove that the reason why their numbers are low in this situation. I don't blame Biden for the crime problems in the U.S. It's not his fault. Now, some of you, if you think I'm wrong, then prove to me where I'm wrong. Because it is the fault of the liberal prosecutors dumbing down the, what's the word? Not the convictions, I guess, dumbing down what you may, I guess it would be the convictions of what you may be convicted of, right, Raj?
Yeah, lesser sentences.
Dumbing down the charges.
Okay.
And then I also blame the mayors for treating police like a bunch of garbage out there as well. It's the Democrats' fault in the cities that they run. So this was to ask of Jen Psaki, what's your all's view on the crime problem? They don't even take a position.
Do you think it's possible that big cities are dealing with these smash and grab robberies right now, an increase in criminal activity because some prosecutors are too soft on crime?
So he goes, hey, prosecutors are too soft on crime. What's your whole take on this crime problem?
I would say we have seen, I'm not going to attribute the reasoning from.
There you go. That's line one. Well, we're not going to give you a reason why we think crime is up.
In other words, we agree the crime is up, but can't tell you why.
Yeah. All right.
Here, what I will tell you is we have seen an increase in crime over the course of the pandemic. There are a range of reasons for that. And what our focus is on is what we can do to address.
Well, what are the range of? Oh man, can you imagine? Then just make it up. What is the range of reasons? Okay, crime is really up after the George Floyd because unfortunately police were told to stand down. So there are, I use this in air quotes, peaceful protest. All right. That's because George Floyd happened about, almost 2 months. It was a Memorial Day in March of last year after we started shutting things down second, third week in March. COVID does have something to do with that. That's what, hey, by the way, when you shut things down, hello. But yet, folks, this is what I'm getting at. 904-831-0600. This is the reason why their approval numbers are down, because at least they're not giving you somewhat of an answer, or at least they're not, hey, man, I feel your pain. Bill Clinton was phenomenal on this. Hey, I feel your pain out there. Biden, no, I mean, by the way, have you noticed they stopped blaming Trump on some of these things, even though they still will? Maybe because it's not garnering them any type of increase in their poll numbers out there. But to sit back, this is their thing. Well, it's a fake budget score in the CBO. Oh, and by the way, the whole thing with crime, we're not gonna give you a reason why. Well, why not? I mean, heck, if you wanted to blame Trump, at least throw that one out there. They're not even doing that, Raj.
Yeah.
This is the reason why their numbers are low, because they're not at least addressing the issue.
Denigrating police, not a good idea. Say you want to defund the police, probably not the best idea.
Yeah.
And requiring the police get 3 vaccines or they lose their job.
Hey, good point.
That's probably not a good idea either.
By the way, what happened to law enforcement over that, quote, whipping scandal that didn't take place, by the way, for the illegal immigrants of Haitians coming into the U.S.? Whatever happened to that, people? Oh, it's been we told you it was a fake. We played the clips of those reporting it that it was a fake. What's happening with all that? All right, 904-831-0600. 904-831-0600. Email address at wbob.com. Say some calls. What's up, Bruce? What's going on, man?
Hey, man, I hate to not talk about crime after you teed it up so nicely.
Bruce, I'm Ed Claus. Talk about anything you want, all right? That's my gift.
Okay, all right. Anyway, the 32-hour work week. I'd like to make 2 points.
All right.
The first one is, okay, so they just forced everybody to pay $15 an hour to unskilled people. Nobody's going to pay them $22.50 an hour overtime. So what they're going to do is all those people are going to the maximum hours anybody's going to get is 32, and they're just going to be living on 8 hours less pay because business people are business people and they're in business to make money.
Exactly.
The second point is, okay, let's pretend the government was business, because it kind of is. They don't do anything on time. They can't make up their mind about anything. They go over budget on everything. They're a bazillion dollars in debt, basically bankrupt, and nobody's accountable for anything. So how are they going to tell businesses how to be profitable and effective by changing hours and stuff? They need to keep that to themselves. They need to stay out of that and let business people run business. They need to try and run the government, which they're doing a horrible job at right now. I always think they should start running the government as a business, and that's one of the biggest things I liked about Trump, is that he was a businessman. And I think we need more business people in government and less politicians.
I agree with you. Can I sidestep? Let me ask you a question to your point. If this was a school board race going on, and again, I'm not trying to, I just want to get to your point because I could spend all morning with you on this issue. Would you rather have somebody who is more educated to run for school board, or like my mindset, I'd like to have more of a business person run for a school board race? Would I be wrong? I mean, business person overall?
I agree with you 100%. Okay. I think the way schools are run now is they do whatever they want because they pretend like they know better than anybody else, and they act superior. They don't cater to their customer, which is the parent. So they set up like pickup lines at the end of the day. People sit in line for an hour and a half waiting to pick up their kids because
I thought you meant pickup lines like I would say to a female. I'm sorry.
But anyway, so they could care less that people are sitting out there for an hour and a half. Why don't they hire someone from Chick-fil-A to find out how to get people through a line quick?
That's an excellent point,
Bruce. I got to get going. I got other calls. Bruce, what a great flipping. Bruce, you want to run for office? Hold on, Raj. Bruce, you want to run for office? Do it. Tell me where to donate. I like that guy. You have somebody from Chick-fil-A. Brilliant. You are exactly correct. By the way, before I get back to the calls at 904-831-0600. Roger, here's a little, over the last 10 years, where did we see businesses cut back hours due to government regulation? What was it? You know what I'm talking about.
Businesses cut back hours.
Cut back hours because they were being regulated on a bill that was a DFD, according to Joe Biden?
I can't recall.
This is a big flipping deal. Obamacare.
Okay.
Remember? They cut back to 28 hours and you couldn't get full-time employment? Remember that?
Right. Oh, you're right.
Yeah. I covered that extensively on the show.
They required employees who had employers who had 50 or more employees to offer health care to everybody.
Exactly.
So what ended up happening, they made sure they didn't hire no more than 49 employees.
Right. And then they cut you back.
They cut some employees to keep the same workforce. They cut some employees by down to part-time and hired 2 part-timers, and they made others independent contractors.
I love the idea of a 4-day work week, but that's between you and your employer. You know, they don't the government coming in and mandate this. And Bruce is exactly correct. They gonna pay you. We need more work done. By the way, it'll slow down productivity. By the way, too. I'll tell you why. Because if your company's not going to afford to be able to pay you over time and a half of 32 hours, they're going to hire more part-timers. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's no incentive for them to do this. I think there's an incentive between the employer and employee to get your work done by Thursday because the company's still going to make a buttload more money, pay you for the other 8 hours on Friday.
Exactly.
I love that idea.
You may even work late for free just to get it all done by Thursday.
Yeah. Roger knows what that's about. All right, let's go to Daniel on line 1. Daniel, thank you for calling this morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are y'all doing?
Hey, brother. Good. Thank you, sir.
Good. I just wanted to make a quick comment on the last caller's kind of message. So when we talk about politicians versus, your kind of everyday businessmen, when we take a look back to the founding fathers, there were no politicians, right? I mean, this country was founded off of the backs of hard workers and guys that were, kind of the first businessmen. So really kind of my stance or my viewpoint on it is that, get rid of these politicians that have been doing this for 30, 40 years and hire people that, or vote people in that are, truly caring about, getting a true economic plan together, getting something that's running properly.
I'm with you. Now, technically, they did become politicians, did they not?
Correct, but they, the first, people to start running this country weren't politicians. We didn't have any politicians, to my knowledge.
Well, I'm not disagreeing. I love your attitude. Get rid of these guys. Put term limits on every one of these guys, and then let's elect some new people. I've been I've been told by some of my educrats, that's the bureaucrats on the education side, the educrats, that I'm wrong. We need people with experience when it comes to education for school board members. I sit back and go, you guys are voting on budgets and things like that. So I need more business people. I don't need more accountants, no offense. I love my accountant. He's the bomb. I need more financial planners running office. The accountant just tells you where you've been running your money. The financial planner sits back and says, hey guys, you kind of need to really not spend so much money here. That's what some of the financial guys do. But technically, I get what you're saying.
We've had some of that in Florida. I mean, we've got rainy day funds and that kind of thing at the city level and state level.
Listen, Rick Scott, whatever you may think of him, I know he's not the greatest guy to interview. I like Rick, but he's not and he doesn't come across, but the guy, when it came to business, was flippin' brilliant. I know, you may sit back and go, really? I look at that guy? It's different. He was brilliant. I thought he was good for the state of Florida. Heck, I thought Jeb Bush was good. Jeb was a business guy beforehand. Charlie Cruz wasn't. And I think DeSantis has been very good because he's got business people surrounding him. All right? But, I understand what he means technically. But hold on. But that's like saying, well, all of these guys going into – I get what – I'm not mixing apples. I understand where Daniel's coming from. But, technically it's, hey, I'm going through police training, but you're not a cop yet. None of them were cops until they get into the force. So, I understand. I don't know if the argument holds. Well, nobody was elected when the country started. So they're all business guys. I get it. Some of them were farmers as well. So, all right, more calls coming up next. 904-831-0600. Good calls. Talk Radio WBOB.
Where are the tie-ups to avoid WBOB traffic?
We still have that slow traffic on 295 headed south, just past Blanding. You're going to add an extra 5 minutes because that left lane is blocked. And we have slow traffic on 95 headed north, right between Butler Boulevard and University. Add an extra 6 minutes. If you see anything, give us a call. 901-SAFE.
Overcast today with a slight chance of rain, the high 68. This evening, a few clouds with a low of 61. Currently, it's 60 degrees.
The IRS and state agencies don't wait till after the holidays to demand payment or take collection action. J. David Tax Law and our firm of experienced tax attorneys live and work in this community, and we are standing by to defend you or your business in any IRS or state tax debt. Helping people in our community is what we do. For that reason, we invite you to join us in our support of worthy local charities. In this season of giving, please consider donating to Dreams Come True, Sanctuary on 8th Street, Cars for Our Troops, Rethreaded, the Ronald McDonald House, and Pax's Canine Care. These organizations do a wonderful job for those in need. At J. David Tax Law, we believe strongly in being a responsible corporate citizen by providing funding to charities that support our community. We invite you to do the same, and we wish you and your family a happy and safe holiday season. If you have tax problems, call us now at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777 for a no-cost consultation, or find us on the web at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. If you're interested in buying a fine quality diamond, but might start with a smaller diamond and then over time grow that to a larger size diamond, at Underwoods we have a way to do that, and we've been doing it for more than 50 years. We call it Grow a Diamond, and here's how it works. When a customer buys an Underwood engagement ring, solitaire diamond pendant, or a pair of ear studs, we guarantee they get the price they paid for it on the purchase of any bigger diamond. Now, a lot of stores would say, big deal, we do that too, but here's the Underwood difference. We guarantee you get what you paid when you trade in your Underwood diamond, even if you're only trading up by $1. It's not that you have to trade up 2 for 1 like most jewelers ask. We've done this with thousands of customers through the years, so if you're interested in growing a diamond, come by and see us at Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Canines for Warriors is ending veteran suicide and returning our warriors to a life of dignity and independence.
I deployed with the U.S. Army in 2003. I've been in 8 different IED explosions. I don't know how many gunfights we've been in. 5.5 years of combat. It takes its toll on you. A lot of cumulative experience and trauma.
Canines for Warriors pair specially trained service dogs with vets in need.
You know, the thing I can tell you about my dog is his eyes have that perfect amount of judgment, but also that perfect amount of love. And no matter what I do, he just looks at me like I'm either an idiot or I'm the best thing in the world. He's my cranky old man, and I love him.
Your generosity will go right to work to help pair a struggling warrior with a shelter dog trained to help veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder, traumatic brain injury, and or military sexual trauma. Give your best gift today by going to caninesforwarriors.org.
WBOB is talk radio for Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia.
Here are some of the top stories we're bringing you this morning. Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody says her office has recovered more than $11 million lost by consumers in COVID-related fraud and scams. New car prices hit a record high in the month of November, and some local media reports claim their cause to fire Urban Meyer after a losing Jaguars football season.
Contact the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 WBOB by calling 831-0600, 831-0600, or email ed@wbob.com. AM 600 and 101.1 FM, WBOB.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Virgin Atlantic Airways lands $530 million in new funding. Elon Musk is Time Magazine Man of the Year. Those stories next. By now you know that MyPillow doesn't have their box stores or any shopping channels any longer due to the cancel culture. Well, Mike Lindell is now passing along those savings directly to you. Right now you can get the lowest price in the history of MyPillow for their classic standard MyPillow, regularly $69.98, now only $19.98 with promo code Dobbs. They also have queen size pillows, regularly $79.98, now $24.98 with promo code Dobbs. MyPillow is not just pillows. They have over 150 products. Everything from sleepwear to beds. And my promo code Dobbs also works on mystore.com and frankspeech.com. Go to mypillow.com or call 1-800-977-9152 and use promo code Dobbs to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his standard MyPillow. That's mypillow.com, promo code Dobbs, or 1-800-977-9152. Virgin Atlantic Airways has just gotten some good news in the form of additional shareholder funding from Richard Branson's Virgin Group as well as Atlanta-based Delta Airlines, which owns almost half of Virgin shares. Despite struggling during the China virus pandemic like other airlines, Virgin Atlantic forecasts it will return to profitability by 2023. Starting January 3rd, diners in Philadelphia will be required to prove vaccination in order to be served. Despite referring to him as at various times a clown Brown, a visionary, a showman, and an industrialist. Nevertheless, Time magazine has named Tesla founder and CEO Elon Musk as its Man of the Year. Musk is estimated to be the richest man in the world with a net worth in the neighborhood of, what a neighborhood it is, $300 billion. Please join me 3 times each day for my updates here on this station. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
As a business owner, it's top priority that my office equipment and technology is top-notch. That's why I work with CFX Office Technology. Charlene here. Do you want reliable copiers and printers along with a secure scanning and document management solution? Call my friends at CFX Office Technology. CFX is a family business here in Jacksonville. They're helpful, professional, and always respond super fast to any issue. Trust me, call them for your business needs. Visit CFXOffice.com, CFXOffice.com, and tell them Charlene sent you.
Doug Mead has completed thousands of real estate transactions. For over 30 years, he's helped sellers deal with just about every kind of issue you can imagine. Doug buys houses and pays cash as is with no additional closing costs to the seller. With a clear title, Doug will buy your house, vacant land, or commercial property and close when you're ready. IPayCashForHouses.com. IPayCash, the number 4, houses.com. Or call or text 904-382-1084. Doug is here for you.
Contact the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 WBOB by calling 831-0600, 831-0600, or email ed@wbob.com. AM 600 and 101.1 FM. WBOB.
Yeah, I think several emails coming in this morning agreeing with me. They like to see more business people run for office. I agree with that. Just need to... last week at the Jacksonville City Council. We should just put term limits all around. They can't run for another office on top of the office. I've heard that idea promoted around too. So, all right, James, thanks for waiting. What's up this morning, man?
Morning. Yeah, I liked Bruce's comments, and it's also an interesting segue from what you guys were talking about on Friday with the less dependence on China and bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. Well, this is hilarious because this does not bring manufacturing back to the U.S. when you increase human labor costs when it comes to manufacturing, because we're in a global market and you can't maintain a competitive edge when your products are being built against people who pay slave wages to people like in China. So it's insanity. Like you said before, 32 hours. Employers are just going to cut people. We're going to have part-time employees again. They're going to find a way around having to pay their employees more, especially when the market doesn't bear it.
James, you said something here. Some people accuse companies of being un-American to go deal with the communist Chinese. Listen, I don't never want to deal with the Chinese no matter what. You make an interesting point. Businesses would not move if we were stopped trying to put business out of business by the overregulation, whether it's OSHA, whether it's environmental regulations, and by the way, even locally here, planning and zoning, board of adjustments, but code enforcement. If you stop making not disincentives, I guess, give them more incentives, these people would never be moving out there.
Correct. The original reason I called, though, was you guys were talking about the increase in crime and how the left is trying to skirt around it. Well, the reason why there's an increase in crime is because leftism incentivizes crime. When you're allowed to take $1,000 worth of goods before they determine whether you're going to press charges from a retail store, they just created an incentive for criminal activity.
I'm with you on that.
Shoplift as long as everything is under $1,000 and you won't go to jail.
Yeah. I'm telling you, folks, when crime is laxed, and by the way, this should also tell businesses out there, guys, you need to arm yourselves. Please, you cannot rely on the police. They're swamped. All right? Only you will take care of you. All right? Hour number 3 coming up next tonight. Gas tax repeal. It's going to hit the city council. I'm all for it, man. Eliminate it. We'll talk about this in a few moments. Ed Dean, Roger Henderson, Talk Radio, WBOB.
AM 600 WBOB Jacksonville, 101.1 FM W266CX Fruit Cove, the conservative voice of Jacksonville.
Breaking news this hour at townhall.com. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The death toll from a tornado outbreak that killed at least 88 people in 5 states could grow, according to Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. Here's correspondent Julie Walker.
Mourning the dead, searching for the missing, picking up the pieces of their lives. That's what's left for so many. In Missouri, Sandra Hooker lost her 9-year-old niece, Aniston Rackley.
She was, to me, an angel walking among us.
In Kentucky, Martha Thomas made it through the tornado with her dog.
I was sitting here praying.
Now she's searching the debris of what was her home with her son, Chad.
She spent the first 2 days in shock, just trying to figure out what I do next. What's the point? 73 years old, and I got to start over again. But today, she's back to normal.
Realizing she's lucky to be alive, and that meant she had more right there than many others. I'm Julie Walker.
In Sicily, rescue workers continue to search for more bodies in the rubble of buildings that collapsed following a gas leak explosion that happened over the weekend. There are 7 confirmed dead there. Some relief in sight for drought-plagued Californians. Compliments of a massive winter storm that brought more rain and snow on Monday. Despite the hazards, Oakland resident Zen Wood said,
I'm really happy for the rain. I think we needed it a lot.
Forecasters say the state's highest peaks could get as much as 8 feet of snow. Much of California is still in the grip of what's classified as an extreme drought. U.S. consumer spending is strong, but rising inflation remains a concern.
The head of the nation's second-largest bank says consumers are spending at a faster rate than he's ever seen. However, Bank of America's Brian Moynihan remains concerned about how inflation and supply chain issues will influence the economy going into the winter. Last week, we learned that inflation is at its highest level since 1982.
It's correspondent Greg Cluxon reporting. On Wall Street, Dow futures are up by 7 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
News on WBOB, AM 600 and 101.1 FM.
Good morning. I'm Patrick Johnson. A Kingsland woman's facing nearly 40 animal cruelty charges after investigators say they made a gruesome discovery at her home. The Camden County Animal Control had opened an investigation into the woman who was previously diagnosed with a mental health condition. The investigation opened after a sick puppy was found in the woman's driveway. An animal control officer was eventually given consent to look inside the woman's home, where they discovered at least a dozen dead animals. In all, 38 animals were either found dead or severely neglected at the home. The woman charged with animal cruelty. A Jacksonville woman is charged with manslaughter in a deadly shooting. Rachelle Mona Jackson admitted to the Duval County Jail Saturday morning, though the arrest was not reported until Monday night. Cops believe that the mishandling of a firearm resulted in a man's death. And the governor's given state workers off the 23rd, 24th, 30th, and 31st. That's Jacksonville.radio news.
How long does it take to get to the forest? That's not far. What are we going to do? Hike? Sure. Are we there yet?
Yep, it's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org, brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Financial issues plague us all, especially in these uncertain times. Dan Celia helps us navigate these difficult financial times every weekday from 9 till noon on AM 600 WBOB. Where are the tie-ups to avoid WBOB traffic?
We still have that slow traffic on 295 headed south, just past Blanding. You're going to add an extra 5 minutes because that left lane is blocked. And we have slow traffic on 95 headed north, right between Butler Boulevard and University. Add an extra 6 minutes. If you see anything, give us a call. 901-SAFE.
Overcast today with a slight chance of rain, the high 68. This evening, a few clouds with a low of 61. Currently, it's 60 degrees. And here are some of the top stories we're bringing you this morning. Several liberals, including politicians and celebrities, are using the tragedy in Kentucky to point fingers at Republicans for not doing enough to battle climate change. Progressive Democrats 4 days a week. And a new ABC News poll finds that 61% don't approve of the Biden administration's
calling 831-0600. 831-0600. Or email ed@wbob.com. AM 600 and 101.1 FM. WBOB.
Is it going to remain cloudy all day today?
Yeah, overcast all day long.
Man, I may go out hunting today then. After a little bit, so. All right. Let's get to the news. Good to have everybody with us. It's Ed Dean, Roger Henderson. Hour number 3. We are set and ready to go. Right here on Talk Radio, WBOB, the latest of what's taking place in the state of Kentucky, where, unfortunately, it may exceed 100 deaths. The president's going to visit there tomorrow.
And you've got power crews here from all over the region, as you still have some 26,500 people without power, and another Wednesday, the people here will get a visit from. We'll try to offer encouragement to the people who had the misfortune in the path of this once-in-a-lifetime tornado.
That's Fox News' Mike Tobin. But some liberals and progressives, and those of including elected officials, are blaming Republicans taking advantage of the tornadoes that took place in Kentucky, saying that they're not doing enough to battle climate change.
Others are blaming the tragedy on climate change. Actor Mark Ruffalo tweeting, "This is what #climate catastrophe looks like. It's only going to get worse from here." While FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell fired off this stark warning.
This is going to be our new normal, and the effects that we're seeing from climate change are the crisis of our generation.
Fox News' Aisha Hassin. The president and the White House is facing some challenges over the holiday, not only trying to get a big spending bill passed, but also dealing with the issue of crime.
President Biden facing a myriad of serious challenges, and they are cutting into his already low approval numbers. At the top of the list this holiday season is crime, amid a rash of high-profile, high-end robberies, scaring some shoppers away from the most crucial economic period of the year for retailers. The president also facing an uphill political battle over his massive tax and spend agenda, that social spending bill.
Fox anchor Brett Baer, but according to a recent poll number by ABC News, 61% of voters do not believe that the White House is grasping the issue of the crime problem.
President Biden's approval on crime plummeting. Those smash and grab robberies hit major cities across the country, and voters really don't like it. A new ABC News Ipsos poll shows just 36% approve of the president's handling of crime, 61% disapprove.
From the Fox Business Network, Stuart Varney. Democrats in Congress say that they want to bring up a vote that will force companies to eliminate a 40-hour work week and instead make them work only 32 hours, and anything after that, employers would have to pay time and a half.
Advocates say fewer workdays are better for work-life balance and increase workers' performance. And now the change is gaining support among some members of Congress. The Congressional Progressive Caucus, a group of nearly 100 lawmakers, formally endorsed the 32-Hour Workweek Act. The bill wouldn't eliminate 40-hour work weeks. It would require employers to offer overtime pay after 32 hours.
That's the latest from CNBC. With inflation costs going up, it's jacking up everything from food to hotels and traveling. And also, if you want to buy a brand new car for the holidays for a loved one, you're going to end up paying more, as well as new car prices hit a record high.
Well, prices for new cars hit an all-time high in November, $46,320. That is the 8th straight month of record highs for new cars. Now, according to Kelley Blue Book, that's 13% higher than November of 2020. Sales are down due to short supply, and that's also limiting the incentives and driving the average price higher.
That is from Money Matters' Jane King. And what will happen to Jacksonville coach Urban Meyer, the Jags? Will he stay or will he go?
A quick scan of national headlines shows the drama filling the Jaguars organization right now. Tension boiling over between Coach Urban Meyer, Jaguars players, staff. Here is what's protecting Urban Meyer right now. The Jaguars owe him a ton of money. And this headline saying Meyer threatens to fire source of leaks after reports of in-house drama. Now even the diehard fans like John Fichter, a man who has literally recreated his apartment into a shrine of all things teal and black, thinks Meyer has to go.
That's a reporter for News 4 Jax, Scott Johnson. We'll have a lot more coming up. It's 9 minutes after 8 a.m. Ed Dean, Roger Henderson, Talk Radio, WBOB.
Where are the tie-ups to avoid WBOB traffic?
We're still looking at that slow traffic on 95. It's headed north, backed up between Southside Boulevard and University. You're going to add an extra 14 minutes. We have slow traffic on 295 headed south, right between Monument and Town Center Parkway. add an extra 7 minutes. If you see anything, give us a call. 901-SAFE.
It will be cloudy today with the high of 69. Partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 59. Right now, it's 61 degrees.
We spend 90% of our lives indoors, and the air we breathe indoors is filled with airborne viruses, bacteria, mold, and other toxins that pollute our air, making you feel tired, less productive, and can risk your health. Protect the air you breathe with Bright Light Air. Bright Light Air is a chemical-free, green, patented technology. It creates the same air purification process that occurs in nature through solar and geothermal energies to keep your space clean. It's already being used in schools, universities, sports arenas, and hospitals. It's proven to be effective in eliminating 99% of viruses, bacteria, mold, and fungi. And now it's available for your home. Bring nature's air quality indoors. Visit brightlightair.com to learn more or call 833-444-BREATHE because keeping your family safe is a priority.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. You know, we've been in business here in Florida since 1928. And if you asked what's been the most important part of our history and what will be the most important part of Underwood's future, the answer's the same thing for both. Our honesty and integrity. Our founder, H.F. Underwood, had a favorite saying, know the truth and tell the truth. That's why we're the longest standing member of the American Gem Society in Florida, because we know that you have to have the knowledge about gemstones before you can tell the truth about gemstones. As a result, we've continued educating our staff through the Gemological Institute of America and the American Gem Society. In fact, today Underwoods has the largest American Gem Society credentialed staff of professionals east of the Mississippi River. So come by and see why we're looking forward to the future and let one of our credentialed professionals take care of you. At Underwoods, San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
It's Christmas time, and if you're looking for that perfect Christmas gift, it's time to pay a visit to Boger Shoes in Riverside. If someone you love lives with chronic foot pain, leg or back pain, is managing type 2 diabetes, or has any podiatry issue at all, Boger Shoes has earned a reputation as being the shoe store Jacksonville prefers. When medical concerns are important whenever shopping for footwear. For over 60 years, Boger's has provided orthopedic and diabetic shoes for thousands of customers in Northeast Florida. Their credentialed staff is doctor recommended and can provide relief for almost any type of foot problem without neglecting style. Boger Shoes gift cards make the perfect stocking stuffer. Whether podiatry issues are important or just fashionable quality footwear is all that matters, stop by 1014 Park Street in Five Points and pick up your gift cards today. And Merry Christmas from Boger Shoes, the answer for hurting feet.
Financial Issues with Dan Celia at 9 this morning. Now, back to the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 and 101.1 FM, WBOB.
Here are some of the top stories we're bringing you this morning. New car prices hit a record high in the month of November. Some local media reports claim there are calls to fire Urban Meyer after a losing Jaguars football season. And Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody says her office has recovered more than $11 million lost by consumers in COVID-related fraud and scams.
Contact the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 WBOB by calling 831-0600, 831-0600, or email ed@wbob.com. AM 600 and 101.1 FM, WBOB.
Coming up on 8:13, it's Ed and Roger. Good to have everybody with us. You can also watch us live on, hold on a second. Did you turn that camera? I don't blame you. I mean, most people are asking to be turned off. Anyway, you can watch us Facebook Live. Go to Facebook.com, look up Ed and Roger, and then also download the app, WBOB.com. It's free. Councilman Rory Diamond back in the studios with us. He's been out for a few weeks, traveling, and he is, what a resume, former prosecutor in the W administration, right?
No, I worked for W, but then went to law school, then went to U.S.
Well, you're a
Attorney's
former
office.
federal prosecutor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but not in the W administration.
Not straight W.
Boy, can you imagine Guantanamo would be packed right now, wouldn't they?
Yeah, man.
So anyway,
Yeah,
so wait, what did you do? I mean, as well as I know you, I know you worked in the W administration. When did you do for the federal prosecutor's office?
Yeah, so I was in the Western District of Virginia and did, drugs and crime and white collar crime.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. those guys in
By the way,
jail.
why do they call it white collar? I find that very funny. It's a joke. Anyway.
It's elitist.
I know.
Outrageous.
So he's the Jacksonville City Councilman, also CEO for K9s for Warriors. So we saw this tragedy. I want to talk about
and
the
soon to be JAG officer.
So yeah,
That's right.
So I want to talk about. I want to get to the gas tax here in a couple of moments. So the unfortunate tragedy that's happened in Kentucky. Now the liberal left is now blaming it all on climate change and going after Republicans. Fox News' Aisha Hassin.
Others are blaming the tragedy on climate change. Actor Mark Ruffalo tweeting, "This is what hashtag climate catastrophe looks like. It's only going to get worse from here." While FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell fired off this stark warning.
This is going to be our new normal, and the effects that we're seeing from climate change are the crisis of our generation.
So the president had to jump into the mix and then had to retract what he said about whether or not it had anything to do with, quote, global warming climate change.
The intensity of the weather across the board has some impact as a consequence of the warming of the planet and the climate change. The specific impact on these specific storms, I can't say at this point. We can't say with absolute certainty that it was because of...
So we can't say with absolute certainty here on the climate change. It's amazing that, I mean, if you sat back and say, okay, which we did, if, like, for example, the smash and grabs, no, I don't think anybody lost their lives. I know that Lori Lightfoot and a lot of other liberal mayors from Chicago want to blame them because the police aren't there. And when I mean blame them, the business owners. But in a weird way, I think business owners should sit back and go, you need to arm yourselves, or maybe some of you should hire a little bit more security, knowing that the police aren't going to be there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, this is the effect of defund the police, insulting the police, firing police officers because they're not vaccinated. You get random acts of crime, and now even places like San Francisco and Los Angeles have had enough.
Yeah.
They're like, listen, we need real police.
And there's technology you can use too. Well, I've seen videos where if there's a crime situation going on, a panic button can be hit and it can lock all the criminals inside until the police get there.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think crime is going to be the number one issue across the country, more so than anything else. It's already the number one issue in Jacksonville. It's going to be the number one issue across the country.
I think you're correct here. The Democrats, this is an interesting story here. I like the marketplace deciding this. I like 4-day work weeks if you can produce 5, all right? And a lot of companies under the age of COVID will be flexible with it because they're still going to make a boatload of more money to pay you that extra day, but you're still getting putting the productivity in. Democrats are now coming up with legislation. Now, folks, they're going to throw the kitchen sink, the refrigerator, and the food within the refrigerator because they know that it may be their last days, politically at least, coming up in 2022. Democrats in the U.S. House now want to mandate that companies no longer force or have and require their employees to work 40 hours a week. Now they want to knock it down to 32, and then after 32, pay them time and a half.
Advocates say fewer workdays are better for work-life balance and increase workers' performance. And now the change is gaining support among some members of Congress. The Congressional Progressive Caucus, a group of nearly 100 lawmakers, formally endorsed the 32-Hour Workweek Act. The bill wouldn't eliminate 40-hour work weeks. It would require employers to offer overtime pay after 32 hours.
Now, the thing with COVID, which has kind of been an interesting mix, Roger and I have covered this, and we always enjoy hearing from audience members out there. Has work flexibility gotten better or gotten worse? You kind of get the work out of the house. If you don't have really, kids are grown up, or you don't really have kids, or you got a babysitter, you're fine, you like it, it's less stress, some would sit back and say. But one thing that's really underreported is about what current employers, maybe it's underreported, I don't know if they're not doing enough, to keep on maintain the status quo. They want to keep you on the job out there. 11 million job openings, they don't want to lose you.
Right.
I like the idea of 4 days a week because why? You try to compact everything so we can go take time off and play golf on Friday.
Yeah.
You can still get paid because companies going to make more money, but I don't like this mandate from the government here.
No, it's so dishonest. It is so dishonest. All that's going to happen is that people who were working 40 hours are only going to get 32 hours.
Right.
And those are the people who are going to get hammered. Then no one's going to get overtime. No one's going to get that 33 hour. That's all that's going to happen with this. And the Dems, just like with minimum wage, are out there lying about this. And, it sounds so good from a distance. But look, in the private marketplace and with COVID and all the rest, people who already have good jobs now suddenly have flexibility, right? If you want to work 410s, fine. Nobody cares.
Hold on. Yeah. K9s for Wars, you employ, 100 plus people.
140 now.
So, look at that, 140. They keep going up.
Yeah. It'll be 230 this time next year.
So you employ a lot more people, and you are a good boss. The people, we've been over there. The setup is just fabulous.
Yeah.
If somebody's producing, they're working hard, you got no problem sitting back going, dude, you need a day off? Or is there an option, or is there a conversation at least going on where you've had where hey, Rory, listen, I'll be glad to do 10-hour days because Friday I'm going to school, or let's say I'm in the reserves or something like that. Is that flex? Do you see? Well, I'm not saying whether you guys offer that or not. Are we seeing some companies in Jacksonville do that?
There's no question, but the world is split between two different types of workers right now. People who have to be there, right? You got to go. And if you're working as a waitress or a waiter, if you're working in construction or whatever, you got to go, and you're going to work 5 days and you're going to do 8 hours, and that's what's going to happen. Their bosses and their bosses' bosses suddenly have this kind of flexibility. And what really drives me crazy is the bureaucrats in government are asking for the same kind of flexibility as people who are actually,
that's funny,
earning their value over there. In the nonprofit world, it's terrible. All these people aren't going back to work. Like, it's unfair to the hourly worker to suddenly try to change the rules only for the white collar group.
And as Roger and I were talking about this, here's another problem with this. It's a one size fits all.
Yeah.
Like the minimum wage.
Let the market do it.
Yeah, let the marketplace do it. The smaller companies cannot afford the minimum wage, and the smaller companies cannot afford to sit back and do 32-hour work week. I think there's one thing I'm assuming, we cover this at Florida Daily and here, FloridaDaily.com and the show. Are we now back in an area where enough with the mandates, let's negotiate between the employer and employee? Because what we're seeing today, now Roger brought up a great point, how long does this last? That's a great question. But if you're producing, the boss is going to do everything they can to keep you around. Am I right?
100%. Our best employees at K9 Warriors, I will move the earth in order to make sure that they stay, because high-quality employees are so great.
What is so interesting is I saw a survey recently, and I happen to believe scientific data that comes in. They say that now, because of COVID, there's a whole lot more of work from home, or WFH, and they found out that employees are actually more productive than working from home, but employers are still reluctant to let them do that because very often the boss, he evaluates his own productivity by watching the employees work.
Well, I can see that.
Yeah.
But look, I'm not entirely sure about this work from home stuff. At K9 Warriors, everybody works at K9 Warriors at one of our campuses. You can't Zoom train a dog.
Exactly.
You can't Zoom love on a warrior.
There's some jobs it's just not practical to do.
Yeah, so I mean, that's our universe. I don't know, all these law firms or people are working from home. I like going to the office. I think that's where you're most productive. I think in person is just more valuable.
I would agree with you. What is this, like a COVID date? We're going to do it 6 feet apart on a dinner, and we're going to do it through Zoom?
Yeah, our population would decline quickly.
Fox Business Network, Hillary Vaughn, the CBO. To me, I want to set up these clips. It's the responses from the White House. This is the reason why their approval numbers are down. All right, here's the clip. Fox Business Network, Hillary Vaughn, the CBO, of course, coming out and saying, hey, forget about this $360 billion. It's going to add $3 trillion to it's going to spend up to $5 trillion, but add $3 trillion to it's going to add a lot more to the deficit.
Republicans fear programs in Build Back Better will be around forever and say Democrats aren't being upfront about what it will cost to keep them. President Biden's social spending package spans a decade, but some of the programs in it expire before that, like universal pre-K and the child tax credit. The Congressional Budget Office did the math. The true cost of the plan, if programs are permanent, almost $5 trillion, and it would add $3 trillion to the debt without more taxes.
Now, this is where it all comes in. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says, quote, well, it's a fake score. You ready for hold on, let me get to the clip. Oh, this is great. This is great. I mean, we had to play here. We're going to dissect this. Here's the clip.
But it's important to understand that when anybody raises a question about this new CBO score, it is a fake score about a bill that doesn't exist. And we should really focus on the actual bill everybody's going to vote on and considering in Congress.
My question. Okay, thank you. So wait. So let me get this right. She says, folks, I want you guys to hear this. She says it is a fake score of a bill that doesn't exist. Then what the flip are you voting on then?
Yes,
and then she hold on. It gets not to interrupt, but this part right here.
And we should really focus on the actual bill everybody.
Well, wait! You submitted the wrong bill?
Well, what bill is she talking about? CBO, by the way, is nonpartisan, right?
I don't always agree with the CBO number. I think they're a little off on something.
Yeah. When they score stuff, it's not always perfect. But when they're telling you it's $3 trillion in new debt, I guarantee you, when you spend $5 trillion, it's at least $3 trillion in new debt. It's ridiculous.
I mean, the obnoxious attitude. It's a fake score of a bill that doesn't exist. So you mean you haven't written compared to the bill that does exist? What?
The bill is coming due on the Democrats' spending, and I just hope that they hold the line. And they don't pass this thing. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I don't want them to pass it on.
And I hope the Republicans keep their spines too in Washington, because they did it in the last one. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. I want to play just a second. I got to take a quick break. I want to play for you another ridiculous response from her on the issue of crime. Again, it's just the obnoxious. I think she's on her way out, not because she's going to get fired. I think she's just going to look for better things because she can make much more money. So I think that's, a little cocky.
She'll go to Netflix.
But that's okay. More coming up next. Talk Radio WBOB.
Where are the tie-ups to avoid WBOB traffic?
We're still looking at that slow traffic on 95. It's headed north, backed up between Southside Boulevard and University. You're going to add an extra 14 minutes. We have slow traffic on 295 headed south, right between Monument and Town Center Parkway. Add an extra 7 minutes. If you see anything, give us a call. 901-SAFE.
It will be cloudy today with the high of 69. Partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 59. Right now, it's 61 degrees.
Honest Abe Roofing guarantees your new roof will be installed correctly. After your new roof is installed, Honest Abe Roofing gives you a written guarantee. The guarantee ensures that as long as you own your home, you'll never roof again. Honest Abe takes care of all repairs and maintenance at no charge to you. You won't get that from Chuck and his truck. Call Honest Abe Roofing, 904-341-ROOF. Get free gutters now with any roof installation.
As an investor, what do you get from a discount broker or index fund? Not much. But if you're seeking planning, financial architecture, direction, and personal interaction, we're a fee-based, independent, credentialed financial advisor for Capital Dimensions Wealth Management, a 17-year-old Jacksonville-based firm that performs in-depth analysis and then on-site interviews with companies globally before investing the client's money. We can help you in your quest for financial independence. Contact 730-3877 or drop by the office on University Boulevard. Florida's leader in gate access and video controls is right here in Jacksonville. Sunbelt Gated Access Systems. Call the professionals at Sunbelt Gated Access Systems today for your building security needs. Sunbelt Gated Access Systems has everything you need from custom gates and security cameras to cloud-based building access control. Sunbelt Gated Access Systems partners with major product vendors that allows them to customize the system for all your security needs. Florida's leader is also serving Southeast Georgia. Visit sunbeltsys.com. sunbeltsys.com.
Canines for Warriors is ending veteran suicide and returning our warriors to a life of dignity and independence.
Maybe you've been in the military for 20 some odd years and you never fired your weapon, but you've seen things and you've heard things and you've witnessed terrible things that have happened to not only your friends but citizens. That builds up, and then I got sent home for medical treatment. They told me straight up, hey, you got problems.
Canines for Warriors pair specially trained service dogs with vets in need.
And we're asking pointed questions because we're trying to pair them with a good match for them, a good dog. And so we kind of have guided conversations, what the warrior requires and how we can best suit that with our dogs.
Your generosity will go right to work to help pair a struggling warrior with a shelter dog trained to help veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder, traumatic brain injury, and or military sexual trauma. Give your best gift today by going to caninesforwarriors.org.
Put romance on your itinerary for 2022. This is your chance to get 25% off the #1 marriage cruise sailing February 6th through the 13th on the Harmony of the Seas. Family Life's Love Like You Mean It cruise gives you the best combination of fun, reconnection, and renewal in your marriage. Go to lovelikeyoumeanitcruise.com and use the promo code CRUISE. That's the lovelikeyoumeanitcruise.com.
Contact the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 WBOB by calling 831-0600, 831-0600, or email ed@wbob.com. AM 600 and 101.1 FM WBOB.
What's Don doing here?
We have a.
I know he does. So he shows up for the Christmas party.
Yeah, he's here all the time.
I know he is.
Usually gone by then.
Usually when he's here, we don't. Okay, so here's the question:
the boss said something years ago that always resonated. We have show horses and we have work horses. He's a workhorse. So
I know
he's
he
here
is.
late.
I know he is a rock star, but he doesn't. Unlike me, he's more humble about it. I love Don. He's been very good.
You're
to me.
somewhat of a show horse, though.
Yeah, I love the Mr. Rogers sweater. I like that. Minus the PBS part. But anyway, no,
he
Don
listens every morning. By the way, loves your show.
I know he does, man. He gets excited when I mention some of the Area 51 crowd. So anyway, I'm kidding. Don is a good guy, and I can always have a good time with Don. Listen, my parents used to teach me, if they're not making fun of you in a good way, that means they don't care about you.
Yeah, no.
Really? But I'm having a complex because you guys are always making fun of me.
Oh, yeah, have at it.
All right. Rory, Don, we're going to talk gas tax coming up next. I want to play for you the clip of the White House when asked about crime. The White House press secretary is like, well, we don't want to address any issues. I got the clip. We'll play it coming next. Talk Radio WBOB.
AM 600 and 101.1 FM, the conservative voice of Jacksonville. WBOB.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Pfizer says its experimental COVID-19 pill appears effective against the Omicron variant. The company also confirmed today the pill delivered on promising early results in reducing COVID-19 hospitalization and deaths. The updates come as U.S. regulators are expected soon to decide whether or not to authorize Pfizer's pill and a competing drug from Merck. If authorized, those pill would be the first COVID-19 drugs that Americans could take at home to treat the virus. Meanwhile, the Air Force has discharged 27 people for refusing to get the COVID-19 vaccine, making them what officials believe to be the first U.S. service members to be removed for disobeying the mandate to get the shots. Meanwhile, the death toll from a tornado outbreak that killed at least 88 people in 5 states is expected to grow, especially in Kentucky, where the recovery efforts continue. On Wall Street right now, Dow futures are up 2 points. This is SRN News.
AM 600, 101.1 FM, WBOB News.
Good morning, I'm Patrick Johnson. A woman arrested throwing feces and spitting on a Putnam County deputy while in the backseat of a patrol car. Deputies received a report Monday of someone carrying a machete and acting erratically inside of a Winn-Dixie store in Crescent City. When officers informed Brown of an outstanding warrant, she became violent and started fighting with deputies. She kicked a deputy in the face. They were eventually able to restrain her. Brown turned into the Putnam County Jail. Cops found a 12-gram bag of meth in the back seat, which reportedly came from the 41-year-old. A date has been set for the sentencing hearing for the 3 men convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery in Brunswick, Georgia. Gregory McMahon, Travis McMichael, and William Roddy Bryant will be sentenced January 7th. All 3 face possible life sentences. A 21-year-old has been arrested and charged with manslaughter after a man was shot to death on Friday. JSO responding to the shooting reported initially on Bennington Drive. That's Jacksonville.radio news.
Fishing in Florida attracts millions of visitors to our state, supports more than 100,000 jobs, and contributes to $35 billion in our state's water-based economy each year. The future of Florida's fishing industry depends on a healthy Everglades. Protect our fishing. Restore America's Everglades. Learn more at evergladesfoundation.org. Where are the tie-ups to avoid WBOB traffic?
We're still looking at that slow traffic on 95. It's headed north, backed up between Southside Boulevard and University. You're going to add an extra 14 minutes. We have slow traffic on 295 headed south, right between Monument and Town Center Parkway. Add an extra 7 minutes. If you see anything, give us a call. 901-SAFE.
It will be cloudy today with the high of 69. Partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 59. Right now, it's 61 degrees. And here are some of the top stories we're bringing you this morning. Progressive Democrats have announced they will bring up legislation to allow employees to work just 4 days a week. A new ABC News poll finds that 61% don't approve of the Biden administration's handling of crime. And several liberals, including politicians and celebrities, are using the tragedy in Kentucky to point fingers at Republicans for not doing enough to battle climate change.
Contact the Ed Dean Radio Show on AM 600 WBOB by calling 831-0600, 831-0600, or email ed@wbob.com. AM 600 and 101.1 FM. WBOB.
Ed Dean, Roger Henderson, the Canines for Warriors CEO, and Councilman Rory Diamond from the city of Jacksonville is in the studios with us. Fox Business Network Stuart Varney reports. I want to play this clip. This is the reason why the White House's numbers are so low. It's the reaction to just a simple question dealing with the economy, inflation, crime, everything else. New ABC News poll out. 61% of you out there do not approve of the way the White House is approaching the crime issue.
President Biden's approval on crime plummeting. Those smash and grab robberies hit major cities across the country, and voters really don't like it. A new ABC News Ipsos poll shows just 36% approve of the president's handling of crime, 61% disapprove.
Okay. Now, here was the question asked the White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki. Fox News' Peter Doocy. Okay, listen, we got the prosecutors. They don't seem to be doing a good enough job. They're lowering the charges. Crime rate's going up. In other words, what's the deal here?
Do you think it's possible that big cities are dealing with these smash and grab robberies right now, increase in criminal activity because some prosecutors are too soft on crime?
Okay, simple question. Folks, this is, once you hear the response, now you know why. Their numbers have sunk.
I would say we have seen, I'm not going to attribute the reasoning from...
I still got my... we're not going to contribute a reasoning.
I don't even know what she said.
In other words, they don't want to give a reason why they think crime is up. Here's more of the clip.
Here, what I will tell you is we have seen an increase in crime over the course of the pandemic. There are a range of reasons for that. And what our focus is on is what we can do to address it.
Well, how do you... Wait. If you at least acknowledge it and at least give some symptoms, then some people would sit back and go, okay, hey, they're slightly addressing it.
But is the government, the answer to every single problem we've got?
Well, unfortunately, I'm with you, Roger.
On law and order, at least. That's their job.
Second Amendment. But what I'm getting at is at least address it in a proper... They're not going to give you any reasons why.
The Democrats used to actually have an edge on crime, if you remember. Remember Bill Clinton did his Crime Act and got all these police officers on the street? Mm-hmm. That used to be them. They don't even try anymore.
By 20 points, Wall Street Journal, Republicans have a major advantage over Democrats.
And they should, because it's the only party right now that's actually talking about, helping police officers, more police actually enforcing the law. The Jussie Smollett trial is the best example of what happens when you have a culture of just saying, you don't have to prosecute people. Whatever, it's just a drug crime. It's just
does this stop crime before it happens, or is it prevent it from happening in the first place?
You have to have a culture that we're going to enforce every single law.
And then
otherwise they don't exist.
Yeah, and people will realize that, hey, this is not a good idea.
Hey, you know what I would do? I know it's not political. I mean, it used to be popular years ago. Why don't we just build more prisons?
Hey, look, if people commit the crime,
what's wrong with this?
They've got to go to prison.
Thrown under the bus when I bring this issue up.
I'm totally fine with more prisons, and I'm totally fine with proper enforcement of the law. The issue is, if you remember when Rudy Giuliani cleaned up New York City, remember when New York was actually cleaned up?
Right.
They did it through the broken windows theory, which is you have to prosecute everything. Every little thing.
Oh, that's what it was.
That's how we did it, right? So when someone was like running across the intersection and spitting on your windshield and trying to clean it and then demanding money, those guys, they got them for jaywalking.
Right.
And then when someone smashes a window,
what is this, Mayberry?
You get them for that? No, these are important things.
Right.
And then all of a sudden crime comes down because there's a culture and belief in law and order.
What about stop and frisk?
It's important to be be able to do that also. No, if someone is committing a crime or gives you facts that they're going to, it's okay to stop them.
What if they haven't committed a crime, they just happen to meet a profile and they're in the wrong neighborhood? Should you stop them just to check?
Mm-hmm. Look, if you are in pursuit of someone who meets a certain profile and you see someone who meets it, then those are reasonably articulable facts to stop it.
What if there has not been a crime that necessarily took place, but they're just driving through and going to check you out just because?
Why not? I got no problem with that. Probable cause.
That's not probable cause.
They may have gotten a call from somebody.
No, what if they didn't get a call?
There's a legal standard for this. It's called probable cause. And it says you have to have reasonable, articulable facts that say this person has committed or might commit a crime.
You get a phone call that goes into 911 or non-emergency, says, hey, we think something's up. The cop's going to pull you over.
Weren't there certain police agencies that were just stopping everybody in a certain neighborhood just to make sure they didn't have a gun and that kind of thing?
So, no, I think that the issue
am I wrong?
No, the issue that became a big national one was profiling people and kind of like in their cars and just pulling anybody over.
Exactly.
But it was also very effective at stopping crime. Mm-hmm. And so it's about...
Well, driving a car is never considered a right. It's a privilege. So I think you give up...
DWB, remember that?
Yeah, driving while black.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a light out, if you're change lanes that indicating, a lot of stops.
Wait a second. If I'm going to stereotype here. If I've got DJ,
I'm not going to.
I'm going to tell you why. I want to tell you why. If I got DJ B. Red from the movie Malibu's Most Wanted, and I've got somebody who's playing thump music. I'm just being honest with you.
That, by the way, is a misdemeanor, by the way, noise ordinance.
Cheech and Chong, how do you know the decibel?
Oh, geez.
Cheech and Chong go through a certain area where cop goes, I cover this area. This is not usual behavior. I understand why the cop's going to pull you over. He wants to know what the heck's going on. I got no problem with that.
So I see my issue. I was just again go back to the law. I don't like looking at people in groups. It's not helpful. It never is. That's what the other side does.
Okay.
But if you've got reasonable articulable facts, if you've got probable cause, I don't care who they are, pull them over, stop and frisk.
If they have probable cause, right?
That's what the law is, and it's really easy to understand.
Rory, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm saying there's a little bit more of a weirder fact when I'm seeing certain other groups in an area compared to normal groups. I had no problem with that.
I don't actually know what you're saying, but
no. I mean, for example, if I see a bunch of people that normally go to, let's say, a redneck hangout, country bar, which is fine with me. They get kicked out. They show up at another area where you don't see these type of people at. I'm going to stereotype going, okay, what's going on here? Just because it's a certain area where you don't see these types here. That's all I'm getting at.
I think I know what you're getting at, but at the end of the day, listen, there's a legal standard. It's really easy to train police officers to understand it. You stick to that, follow the law.
I got no problem with certain stereotypes.
And the whole country will be in much better shape.
But just stopping because there are three, kids, who, maybe they haven't done anything wrong, and there has been no call into the police. They weren't suspecting anything other than the fact that
I think it's okay to say hello.
No, Roger, cops' intuition's pretty smart. They're just checking them out. They're not saying they're arresting them. They're just checking things out.
Yeah, these are two different things, though. It's one thing to stop somebody and search them and all that. It's another thing just to pull up and say hello.
I agree.
And look, our police officers here in Jacksonville, JSO, the Beaches Police Departments, they do this all the time. They know their communities. It's totally fine to get out of the car and say, "Hey, how are you doing?"
Yeah,
and
that's building friendships.
Yeah, that's good. That's good community policing. I think that absolutely should do that. That's how you approach something that doesn't look right to you.
Hey, you know what?
But you don't know why.
Build friendship and make them become narcs.
Right, and if you believe the movies, like what was the movie that Dre did, Straight Out of Compton, where they just stop everybody, make them lay on the sidewalk to search them.
Well, it actually wasn't Dre. It was somebody playing Dre.
And nobody did anything, and no calls to police.
I
That's
agree
a
with
different
you.
situation.
I agree with you on that one.
I also think that's incredibly rare.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That this notion that police are just pulling over anyone at any time because they don't like them.
I thought that was what Giuliani was doing in Times Square. Cleaned up Times Square. Okay.
No. So people were, they were accosting
but hold on.
tourists.
Let me go a little bit further.
Breaking the law.
Do you take the squeegee guys and all them? You warn them several times, and once they don't listen, yes, I think you need to lock them up. How did they clean that up? Was it like first-time offenses or what?
Yeah, so most of the squeegee guys, and these are the people running into intersections and like squeegeeing people's windshields, had priors, and so they had warrants out. So they arrested them. Yeah, so they arrested them.
But see, Roger thinks those are non-harmless people. They shouldn't have to spend jail time.
You go ahead and drive. You remember what this was like in the 90s? You drive into New York and these people would just come up to you and demand money because they spit on your windshield.
I wish somebody would do it right now. I need some water on my truck. I need it washed.
That's fine. That's by choice. But having it forced on you just because you're trying to drive to work or drop your kid off is totally unacceptable.
But here's this to me is a very fascinating issue. Where do you... some states it's a felony. You bounce a check for $300, it's a misdemeanor. Anything over $300, it's a felony.
Who writes a check these days?
I know. Right? I'm with you on that. But I'm just giving an example.
Venmo.
But so anyway, but what I'm getting at is how do you decide about whether or not we should quote lower or decriminalize certain things that we normally would look at and go, we're going to throw the book at you. Instead, we're going to throw the book at you, but it's not as heavy as it used to be.
So
instead of a 500 book, it's 100 pages.
It's a super reasonable question, right? This notion of smaller petty crimes.
Right.
I think you actually do prosecute them all 100%. But then you have diversion programs, so you can hold a prosecution over someone's head, especially a kid, and say, listen, go be clean for a year. Here's these programs that we'll send you to, and then we'll let this go. But if you do this over and over and over again, you're turning into a career criminal.
Let me have a little fun. Roger, and I'm having a little fun here as well. Okay. Should Kareem Brown serve jail time?
Absolutely.
Roger says no.
I think she already did serve jail time. I think she's a risk to anybody as far as
she's not a risk.
Their physical safety. I think house arrest is more,
I get what you're
better
saying.
on the taxpayers, and I think that it.
Would you say that? Hold on. Would you say that if she was 40 years old?
What's that?
Would you say that if she's 40 years old?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
consistent.
The problem is that she is so high profile, and she literally stole from people who were trying.
She needs to be made a public
other
example.
Yeah, you have to make a public example. Elected officials, to me, have a much higher standard.
Right.
Put them in jail. And why? And that type of public corruption, which by the way is happening all over.
Who are the other two council members? Reggie, and who was the other one?
Katrina Brown.
What is up with the Browns?
I mean, I don't know. They're not related.
I know. I'm joking with
They
that.
just happen to have the same last name.
I mean, James, Bobby, Ronnie, Ricky, Mike, Ralph, and Johnny G. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so I was just kind of curious. I'm with you. I think they all need to be made as a public example. Okay. And that was my whole point with Roger. I understand where he's coming from. So whatever.
It's expensive to incarcerate people. She's not a threat to anyone's safety. She's already done how many 2.5 years in jail anyway, and. I'm house arrest, I think, and losing your privacy. Put webcams in her house.
I'm just really home.
She can make money off of that. I would.
No, the only law enforcement sees those cameras.
I'm just so far to the right when it comes to law and order stuff because I do think it's cheaper. I think when people don't break laws because they're worried about being prosecuted.
What about the drug dealer? What about the drug dealer that sells crack and coke and meth? He's not harming anybody.
Yes, he is.
What's he physically doing to them?
He's putting people on drugs that could cost them their lives.
Really? Well. Couldn't Corinne Brown, with the way she was doling out certain money to groups, what if they use that money for drugs? Could she be... I'm just saying...
They could use that money to find the parts for, a nuclear bomb. Like, come on, man.
I know. I'm always just been kind of curious about that. Should the Jacksonville Jags coach Urban Meyer be fired?
A quick scan of national headlines shows the drama filling the Jaguars organization right now. Tension boiling over between Coach Urban Meyer, Jaguars players, staff. Here is what's protecting Urban Meyer right now. The Jaguars owe him a ton of money. And this headline saying Meyer threatens to fire source of leaks after reports of in-house drama. Now even the diehard fans like John Fichter, a man who has literally recreated his apartment into a shrine of all things teal and black, thinks Meyer has to go.
Let me bring up an interesting analysis. I will admit, Raj, it's probably apples and oranges. When people leave the vice president's office, it gets a little bit of coverage.
Right.
Okay, they say she's abusive. We don't really cover it just because after Trump getting rid of people, it didn't bother me. But having said this, so let me set this up. Trump, in the business world, the way things are today, if you're a mess up, you fire them. I understand. I mean, you sit back and go, man, this is just one of the most uncanny, unusual White Houses. But I didn't have a problem with him firing certain people because if they didn't do what he wanted to change the system in a quick amount of time. All right?
Right.
So should we let a coach like Urban Meyer sit around for 2 to 3, 4 years, give him another chance, or do you get rid of his rear end?
Well, it was so strange. The NFL is a business, right?
And my point.
And the guy who owns this business is Shad Khan, and he's a very patient owner. It's really hard to be a Jags fan right now. It's been hard for the last couple of years. I'm amazed how patient he is with his coaching staff. I personally wouldn't be this patient.
That's my whole point. Well, we got to give people a chance. Really? No.
I mean, look at Michigan and Harbaugh, though. They're going to fire him.
That's what happened. You got rid of Tebow, right, Rob?
He hasn't been on the job for a whole year yet, for crying out loud. I say be patient with the guy. Be patient. I mean, it's a tough job.
Hey, Roger.
Every week, everything you do in your job is being scrutinized by 1 million people worldwide.
You talking about Urban Meyer or Joe Biden?
Ouch.
And to the Jaguars fans like me, I'm just telling you what I do, okay? Right. I try to be as patient as I can with my team. I know they're going to turn it around at some point. And I also give myself permission to have 2 teams. I've got my local team, and as long as the team's in a different division, then I'm okay with liking another team. That way I can be happy on Sunday afternoons.
I prefer college ball anyways. It's easier. I went to Michigan, so Urban Meyer's a tough subject for me. But hey, we're going to the
What was that again? I didn't hear. What'd you say?
Michigan and Ohio have a real